wins hard. It's over. The Indiana Pacers in a Game 2 stunner.
Well, lovely Wednesday afternoon. Sports 1440, Orders Nation, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. The Jason Gregor Show, as always, presented by PlayAlberta.ca, where you can get in the game. Use the promo code Gregor100 at PlayAlberta.ca, and you'll get a free $100 play when you sign up. Lotto 649 tonight, $60 million. Woo! Good luck at PlayAlberta.ca. I'm Jason Gregor. He is Connor Halley, and man, do we have lots and lots to discuss on the show. Oilers Nation is pretty fired up. Man, you saw a lot of things last night that you don't see very often in the NHL. Number one, no team ever has had 5 consecutive come-from-behind victories in the playoff. 5 straight games, 5 times the Oilers were losing the game and able to come back. And a few times it was multiple goal differential. The Oilers kind of got unlucky a little bit on that first Vegas goal. It's a double deflection, ends up going off Stone's foot. Not really anybody you can blame on the play. The second goal is a giveaway. We talked about that. That's where Vegas makes you pay. They are very good scoring off the rush. You know, tries a lot of pass, intended pass, knocked down in the offensive zone. Vegas comes back the other way. Mark Stone has time, buries it. It's 2-0. And at that point, I'm sure many people are like, uh-oh, not good. But really, after that, for the final 50 minutes of that game, thought the Edmonton Oilers really controlled that game. When you limit the opposition to so few shots 5-on-5 in the final 40 minutes of the game, that's really impressive. Really impressive. So that was, Vegas had 1 shot on goal in the second period. They only had 6 in the third, and 4 of them came on the power play. I think they gave up 3 shots 5-on-5 in the final 40 minutes of the game. They only had 9 5-on-5 shots the entire game, 7 from their forwards. Arvidsson and Adam Henrique had 8 shots 5-on-5. Those 2 outshot the entire Vegas forward group 5-on-5. That game was the final 50 minutes were similar to game 5 against LA, where the Oilers just didn't give up anything. And they just kept coming. They dominated in the second period. Hill made a few decent shots. Some of the Oilers, shot execution wasn't the best, hitting them right in the chest. We've talked about that before, but they just kept coming. Now, they got a little bit of a break. I do think Leon Draisaitl was trying to bank it in. Doesn't mean it always works, but it did. And he scores. Cons, what did we say yesterday? Anytime goal scorer, Leon Draisaitl was a pretty obvious one, I thought. And he gets his 4th of the postseason. And I think it's his 9th game-tying goal in the playoffs already, which puts him in the top 7 or 8 already. So there's pretty good numbers. Zach Hyman. If you look after that. So 2 guys who don't get assists on goals that played mass. The Klingberg pass up to Draisaitl on the Perry goal, then Draisaitl to McDavid to Perry, scores. What an unreal play by Klingberg. He doesn't get an assist, but the play starts there. On the Zach Hyman goal, Darnell Nurse snuffs out the rush at the blue line, cross pass, up the ice, bang, goal. Those plays by Klingberg and Nurse, they don't get assists, were massive to starting the play. The Oilers' defense, I thought, had a really solid game, 5-on-5. You look, Nurse and Bouchard, I know they're killing penalties together, and they did play more together 5-on-5, no issues. They both dominated. Look at their numbers at 5-on-5, away or apart from each other. It's a hell of a game from the guys who play the most minutes on your team. That's what you need. But those 2 plays, I thought the outlet passing by the Oilers defense was excellent. And Connor Brown Was that Connor McDavid? Connor McBrown on that goal? Comes flying out of the zone, and then he walks Shea Theodore. And Brown could have had a goal, like when he took his penalty. We can debate if that's a penalty or not. But man, what did the play there? He just cuts in with confidence right to the middle. Unfortunately, missed the net. But man, Connor Brown right now, Connor Halley is feeling it.
Yeah, I mean, this is what, 2 straight playoffs where he's really elevated his game. Last year, coming back from injury, it was a disappointing season, but he seemed to find it, especially in the PK. But yeah, I think that's a player playing with confidence, Gregor, to even attempt that on Shea Theodore, a pretty good defenseman. The finish was fantastic, but yeah, he had a little bit of swagger there, stopping right in front of the Vegas Golden Knights bench for the celebration too. I like what I'm seeing from him.
Yeah. So you look at the order. Hey, they played great. Now Vegas, they don't love their game. They feel like they obviously want to improve. You heard all their players today, from Hannafin to Hurdle. You know what? Hey, there's some things we got to improve on. We got to be a lot better. Well, yeah, Captain Obvious, right? They looked like the slower team yesterday. Edmonton was the quicker team. Edmonton's 4 lines. We talked about it going into the series. That's what I liked about their team. Hey, Edmonton caught a break. No Pietrangelo, make no mistake. But guess what? When you get a break, you got to take advantage of the break. And I felt the Oilers took advantage of no Alex Pietrangelo last night. And that's huge. The fact they actually won a game 1. Right? Like, just it just makes it so much easier historically, everything for your team. I know the Oilers have a good record, 6-4 when they lose game 1 in a best of 7. Great, right? 6-5 if you count in the Chicago best of 5. But let's just use best of 7s. And they're 6-4. That's good. But Vegas is a good team. And, when the Oilers start on the road, then it's down to 4-4 if they lose the first game. So still decent, but not, I just think you make it harder on yourselves. And the Edmonton Oilers, we know they've done that. And that's why, hey, tomorrow night, man, you get up 2-0. That would be obviously massive. But even if you come home 1-1, I think Edmonton now, 2 of their last 3 games, they're going to be really happy. They've shown you that they can do it. Game 6 was a little bit of an anomaly in their defensive zone coverage, I thought. But last night, there's no issue on the power play goal. There's no glaring error on it. And, the other goal was, a pass by Draisaitl in the offensive zone. You're going to make that pass, you got to make it connect, right? It can't lead to a direct turnover the other way. We talked about that going in. That's where Vegas will kill you. So, Draisaitl, that was his 3rd of the game. After that, he buckled down. But at that point, he had made a few giveaways on passes where, tried to rush a pass, force a pass, and led right to Vegas going the other way. So it's a big game. We'll get your thoughts on it. 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440 in our inbox. We got a loaded show coming up today. We got Mike Rupp will join us, Leo Rautins, Gary McLean, gonna talk a little rodeo, baby. Your Remchuk is by Rich Winter and John Healy. So we talk a lot of goaltending. We're going to talk stick calibration and just why it's really in the infancy stages for a lot of people. And what are some of the most basic things you can help out your young son or daughter? What do you think is the most common error young hockey players have when it comes to their stick? Any guesses, Cons? The number one most simplest error that kids have with their sticks?
Length?
100%. And guess what? Most cases, too long. And so you're going to listen to John. And so if you want to watch it, if you want to see it, because there's some videos in this, this was live to tape. So it'll be running at 4:00. I did it earlier today with John, and he'll show some visuals. And so when you think about it, many of you played. So think about, you want to be able to have your stick comfortably in a good skating position. Right now, some people bend over more than others. Like, look at Cale Makar's stick. It's pretty short because he's quite hunched over, I should say. Right. Then there's other guys who are a little bit more upright skaters. So that's going to play a part in it. That'll be your lie. But the simplest thing to fix for your kids is a lot of them are playing with too long of sticks. And the reason why, what is the biggest benefit? And I'm telling you, most people I don't think are ever going to guess it. When you say, what's the biggest benefit you get if you fit your stick better? What do you think the biggest benefit would be, Cons?
Control?
You'd think
stick
so,
handling?
Right? Yeah, but you know what it is? It's, in fact, what it does, it limits your delay. And when the game's fast, you're all, because if you don't have the right stick, all of a sudden you go on your backhand in a certain area. Well, now you've got to, you're not going in the right posture. What else? Now you've got to reset to get into the posture. So it's delaying you being in a good position. And delay is something, honestly, I'd never heard about till today from John Healy. So, and he does a much better job explaining it. So I think you'll like that in the 4 o'clock hour. Then we got Spec. Ken Weeb will join us. Of course, the Jets and the Dallas Stars, the last series to get going. They'll get going later on tonight. Of course, that'll be the second game tonight, as the Panthers and the Maple Leafs will get going at 5 o'clock our time. And then, 7:50 puck drop, Dallas and the Winnipeg Jets. This is 8:50 in Winnipeg. So a little bit later start. The Central Time Zone order for fans. You think it's hard. The Central teams, man, they're getting bent over. Not ideal start times for them. So we got a loaded show. And hey, you know what? Sports is great, right? But I just do want to quickly divert for a second from it. So today I had the honor of being asked to MC for the Little Warriors luncheon. I've done it many times. It's fantastic. And they had 2 speakers today. Now, some of you will remember the story of the young girl from Edmonton who got abducted by that predator from the United States, right? And they found her a week later, thankfully. What you probably don't know, well, I don't even know how many people followed up on the court case. He got sentenced to 50 years for what he did to her. And I'm telling you, what he did is awful. Her parents today, Miranda and Martin, spoke at the event. You want to talk courage. You want to talk hard. And the importance of spreading that message. This POS predator, their young girl, young daughter at the time, was 13. And this guy befriended her online, pretended he was a peer for over a year. A year. And then, you know what? Finds out what school she's at, ducks her from the school. And, raped her. It was awful what happened. Physically abused her, showed her videos. Like, they told the whole story. And you know what? Those type of situations are very hard for people to listen to because it's the truth. And a lot of us don't want to hear the truth. But that was a fantastic story. And then Neil came up afterwards, and despite me calling him Peter, sorry about that, Neil, man. His story, because when we think a lot of times in sexual abuse and rape, we think about girls being the victims and ultimate survivors, and that's true, but there's lots of boys. And he was one of them at the age of 9, told a story. One of his friend's older brothers. And just the depth of what he told the story, and to share that. And then now he mentors young boys, because anybody who doesn't know what Little Warriors, they have the Be Brave Ranch just east of Edmonton out by Sherwood Park. It is an unbelievable facility because there are so many young kids who are victims of sexual abuse and abuse that you don't even want to think that a human being could do to never mind another human being, but to a child. And he now helps and works with these young boys. And what happened, it happened to him when he was in 1982 in a different time where there wasn't any sort of place like the Be Brave Ranch. And so a big shout out to everybody who works there, the counselors, the families and the kids who go there to share their story with such courage and such conviction and authenticity today was, and I was pretty fired up coming in. We're going to talk about the Order game. And man, I love sports. I love it a lot. That's why I do my job. But when I look at things in our society now, and I would say the number one thing we need to improve on is, and I don't care if you vote conservative, you vote liberal, you vote NDP, don't make it partisan. None of our governments do enough to help us improve this. It's happening way too much. It's actually being increased. You know that luring online is up 815% in the last 5 years, right? Sextortion and so many other things for young kids and adults online. It's awful. And I think when we look at, rather than growing apart, we need to grow together. I honestly don't care what side you vote for, because if anybody's opposed to stuff like this, then you're not paying attention. And you know what? Sports fans are very caring. You're very vocal. And I think we collectively as a society need to be more vocal about this. And so I just wanted to thank Miranda and Martin and Neil for sharing their stories. I'm sure it must have been difficult. It's a unique emotion of feeling anger and disgust and then sadness and empathy as you hear what happened to the young daughter, Neil, when he was a young boy. And they actually, when Miranda and Martin spoke, their daughter, they just went to court case, and that predator got sentenced to 50 years in jail. I probably have a different opinion on where I'd want to go, but we'll save that for another day. And they played, she did a victim impact statement. They played some of the audio. Whew. You want to talk about courage and strength. Imagine, you get in that court case to face your predator. That to me is strength. So to your young daughter who's on the road to recovery and the Be Brave ranches, that's right here in our community. It's like the only one of its kind in Canada. I think we got to celebrate all the great things that happen in our community. And the Be Brave ranch is one of them. My mom was a victim of very young sexual abuse. And it really impacted her life for a long, long time. And she repressed a lot of the memories. And I'm sure there's people listening right now, men, women, boys and girls. Did you know that the average age where a person who was sexually abused comes and tells their story? The average age is 52. So many of you people live with that for such a long time. And before I go to break, I know you're big, and we'll get back to sports, but we can talk about more important things for a second. For anybody out there who is a survivor, I hope you get the support and know that nowadays, more than ever, people are there to listen. They actually have at Be Brave Ranch, there's an adult facility because there's lots of adults that have never spoken about what happened to them. And you need to. And they have expert people that will help you. And the fact that you're still moving and pushing forward and succeeding today, despite those atrocities, I tip my hat to you because you're the real strong people. We'll take a quick break. We'll come back. We'll talk some hockey and more, but don't forget about Be Brave Ranch and Little Warriors here on the Jason Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
If you bleed orange and blue and you're not using the all-new Play Alberta Sports and Casino app, then you're missing out. It's the only online sportsbook with odds boosts on all Oilers games. And now, it's not just sports. Play the slots, hit the tables, buy lottery tickets, all in one app, all across Alberta. Download Play Alberta now from your phone's app store and use promo code GOAL for a $100 bonus. That's promo code GOAL!
Are you looking for safe and professional travel options? Look no further than Silent Rides, one of Alberta's premier bus charter companies. Whether your group is big or small, Silent Rides has you covered. We offer state-of-the-art motor coaches, first-class service, and affordable rates. Get your quote today. For more information, call 1-877-748-0991 or visit silentrides.ca.
The job isn't done until the last load is hauled, and having a semi-trailer out of commission is not an option. Whether replacing or adding to your convoy, Edmonton Trailer has a huge inventory of new and used semi-trailers, trusted by the gravel, logging, oil field, fluids, and freight industries. Find a trailer right for you online or at one of their 3 locations. For sales, service, parts, rental, and finance, when you're in it for the long haul, Edmonton Trailer.
Scott McGilvery here, HGTV host and renovation expert. The one upgrade I know homeowners will love: better, fresher Culligan water straight from the tap. Culligan's Aquasential reverse osmosis filtration system takes your water to the next level. With up to 7 stages of filtration and 14 filter options, they're certified to reduce over 90 contaminants. Your tap water is about to get a major upgrade: safer water that tastes great. Get started with a free in-home water test at Culligan.com. Culligan, water you love.
time on Edmonton Sports Leader, Sports 1440. This is Andrew Walker, and join us for the Cross Mitsubishi pregame show before each Edmonton playoff game. Cross Mitsubishi on 34th Ave and 96th Street.
Well, get ready for a silly hockey fans. Your partner in power just skated onto the ice.
EWEL.ca, the new e-commerce website for electrical wholesalers Edmonton, is ready for the power play 24/7, 365.
UL skates to where the puck will be in 5 years. Now that's forward thinking.
Killer selection, slamming products from the best brands, and legendary service.
Don't sit on the bench. Get your account today at EWEL.ca and win that project.
Plug into your partner in power. Get an EWEL.ca account today.
Whether you're a craft beer connoisseur or more of a wine aficionado, there's always something new to discover at Sherbrooke Liquor, a unique family-owned independent liquor store. The selection, incredible. The non-alcohol section is also very impressive. Sherbrooke Liquor, expert, knowledgeable staff with a passion for unique finds. More than just a liquor store, we're a community. Alberta's best, the one and only Sherbrooke Liquor. Wine, spirits, and oodles of beer. Visit SherbrookeLiquor.com.
It's Customer Appreciation Day at Vitality Health Foods. Take 25% off select products like Golax by Healthology for healthy digestion, Salus Milk Thistle Extract to protect your liver, and Healthology's Gut Effects. Customer Appreciation is the first Tuesday and Wednesday of each month. Visit Vitality Health Foods today.
Hey, sports fans, we've got a clear choice for you. At Crystal Glass, we provide customers with the perfect glass for any job. From home to auto and even commercial, installation or repairs, we're your team. Call 310 Glass or visit crystalglass.ca. Crystal Glass.
Portions of this hour brought to you by UL. Get your power play amped up with UL, supplying the city of champions and Alberta with quality electrical gear since 1975. UL.ca, your partner in power.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Sports 1440. Oilers Nation, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. It's a wonderful Wednesday in Edmonton for Oiler fans. They won a game one. Woo! And pretty convincing fashion. Unlucky start on the first goal. I'd get after that, though. The final 50 minutes, I thought that was textbook. And the Oilers, they just kept coming. They didn't push in the third period to take chances. You know, they scored early, so that helped to tie the game, and then waited, and then 2 goals in the final 3 minutes, and boom, they got a 1-0 lead. And now you got a chance to really put Vegas in a deep hole if you can. So, you know, now Vegas obviously is going to come back with a better effort in game 2. And that's what makes the playoffs so exciting. From game to game, you don't really know what to expect. Let's get to Around the NHL now, brought to you by McDonald's. And tomorrow's a big day. It is McHappy Day. And all day, portions of all the proceeds, anything you buy is going to help Ronald McDonald House. And you want to talk about a facility that does amazing work to help people, and specifically families when their kids are in the stollery. And you know what? You just need a place to sleep and maybe be a family for some normalcy for short times. That's what they do at Ronald McDonald House. It's an amazing facility. So tomorrow's the day, boys and girls. Save it up. Get yourself a milkshake, cheeseburger, maybe an apple pie. Ooh, the Big Arch. Splurge. Tell the boys and the girls, maybe just get your coffees, whatever you're getting. You'll be helping out Ronald McDonald House tomorrow in McHappy Day. As Mike Rupp, former NHLer, Stanley Cup winner, ace analyst from the NHL Network, joins us. Rupper, welcome back to the show. The playoffs are on, and hey, it's the best time of year. Let's start with the Oilers and Vegas. And for the first 10 minutes, now, obviously there's one unlucky goal, really kind of, well, lucky for Vegas, the bounce. But after the second Mark Stone goal, Oilers were just like, okay, that's it. And like they totally dominated like for the final 50 minutes. It's very similar to the 60-minute game in Game 5 against LA.
Yeah, I mean, this was pretty complete effort. Again, just like you said, I was kind of nervous, to be honest with you, after the first 10 minutes. I'm like, oh, here we go again. Like, you can't have every series kind of battling back in games late. They certainly have the ability to do that, but I thought they really They really got to their game after that, the second goal there, and just they started controlling it. And it wasn't just offensive, and they were calculated doing it. You mentioned that before I came on. I like that part of it too. They weren't just playing freewheeling hockey. When it was time to shut it down, they shut it down. I mean, that's one of the big things when you're talking about the Vegas Golden Knights. They didn't have many looks there as that game went on.
No. I think we might have lost Rupper there for a second. We'll see.
You got me?
Oh, now we got you. Okay, perfect. Yeah. No, you're right. Well, they had one shot in the second period.
Yeah.
And they only had, I think, three total 5-on-5 shots in the final 40 minutes of the game. And in the whole game, they only had 9 and 7 from their forwards. Heck, Henrique and Arvidsson combined had more shots than all of Vegas's forwards. You know, that's a guy in your third and fourth lines. And when you look at Edmonton and you see what they did against LA in that game 5, that every game's different, but 2 out of 3 games, Rupper, where they really shut it down and play a patient game. And then guess what? McDavid and Draisaitl, hey, they get us to a tie game. And then you know what? Once again, your depth guys score you the key goals, just like they did in game 6 and game 7. Game 5 and 6 against LA.
And I think that's the scary thing about this team too. You're going to have the Connor and Leon nights. Like that's just simply it's gonna happen. You're gonna have some nights where they are the show and they are the reason. They haven't necessarily been the reason. Like this team has played really well, a good brand of hockey, like you mentioned. Over the last few games, it's been other guys, and I think that's the big thing here for the Oil is that it needs to be that. We saw that last year at times in the playoffs on that run. But the other part about it too that I think is outstanding is I thought and I know it's only one guy, but without Ekholm, I was thinking to myself, man, this team's going to have to be more run and gun, and maybe they have to at different times, but they've shown that they could lock it down still. Like it's about decision making, and they've made good decisions over the last stretch of games, and I think that's really limited the other team, and in this case, the Vegas Golden Knights.
Mike Rupp joins us. Well, you look at the defense last night, Rupper, and how they moved the puck. Like John Klingberg was just like, it's funny because it looks like he doesn't even know where he's going. He's just firing bombs right on the tape. And Bouchard, Nurse didn't get an assist on the Zach Hyman goal, but he made the play at the defensive zone to snuff out the rush, moves it to his partner up the ice, bang, every guy on the ice touches the puck and they get an assist. And, you throw in Wallman, who's been very good in the postseason. And obviously Bouchard becomes the second quickest, 1 game less than Bobby Orr to get 50 career playoff NHL assists. Like, you know what? They got a lot of things going well, even without Ekholm.
Yeah, and that's one thing I think that jumped out last night. You mentioned it kind of stood out to me. And John Klingberg's an interesting one because in the D zone, there's times where I'm scratching my head on some of the decisions that he makes on the game-to-game basis. But when he moves that puck north and gets it going there quick, it's a difference maker. And it was last night. He had a couple going north passes, zipping the puck through 2 zones, really catching Vegas. Vegas had some really bad line changes throughout the night too. And I think Edmonton did a great job of taking advantage of that. 1 pass is beaten 2, 3 Vegas Golden Knights players. I think that was an area that Klingberg really helped connect the dots between the D and the forwards. So if he can continue to do that, I think that it's going to help this team generate some offense, maybe even outside of the big boys.
Well, to me, Rupper, I thought it was a clear game plan in scouting, like for Edmonton. Like you look at how many stretch passes they made on Vegas in that game, where you mentioned 1 pass is beating a few guys, and we would see it like the Edmonton forwards were stretching the zone. We saw it on the first Corey Perry goal, right, all the way up to Draisaitl from Klingberg at the offensive blue line, and then you mentioned Vegas's changes. Like I think that's something Edmonton picked up on film, saying, hey, when they change, either they're lackadaisical or they're getting everybody off at once and they're not coming on, and we're just gonna, everybody rush up the ice, and you're busting the zone when you have possession. And I saw Edmonton doing it quite often last night.
So it's funny because in round 1, and I know that series between New Jersey and Carolina, New Jersey had all the injuries. I'm not trying to beat them up in breaking that down, but you could very well tell through the first couple games that they were trying to do the same thing, right? Like, we're going to go north quick. We're going to try to alleviate some of the pressure from the Hurricanes, a lot like Edmonton wanted to do with Vegas last night. But the way that New Jersey was doing it, they're doing the high flipper, right? The high flipper in the neutral zone, and it was time after time after time. Now, you certainly you could put the D in a tough spot. If the opposing defensemen are backing up in the neutral zone, they're fielding a fly ball, it could take a funny bounce. You might be able to get a breakaway, odd man rush out of it. But I think that's a game plan that's not going to give you consistent possession time, zone time. But when you're doing what Edmonton did, it's just you got to make those passes. You got to make plays. It's the Stanley Cup playoffs. It's 2025. You can't just go high off the glass, high flippers anymore. Like, you've got to go tape to tape sometimes. And that's an area that I think Edmonton did a really good job. So yeah, scouting report. Let's go. Let's blow zone. Let's get up there, be available. But let's make some passes and make some plays too. So I thought, Chris Knobloch and company did a good job of getting that message across.
Mike Rupp joins us, an analyst from NHL Network. The Capitals and Carolina. Carolina was just, all over him. You look at shots on goal, you look at shot attempts. Rupper, Washington didn't seem to have an answer for the overall speed of Carolina. Now, it is one game, so we'll see. But, if you're the Capitals, what do you got to do better in game 2?
You got to know it's going to be different. I mean, this is a different animal than the Montreal Canadiens. And what you saw in game 1 from Carolina, you're going to see in game 2, games 3, 4, and however many games this series goes. That to me is Carolina hockey through and through. That's how they're built. That's what this team has always done. Now, with that being said, they've kind of hit a wall at some point in the playoffs where they'll control play. They'll have all those shot attempts, all those things we talked about last night. But at the end of the day, when you look, as far as the grade A's, pretty even between both squads. But Carolina's thinking to themselves, if we just keep doing this, we're going to get a goal like we got with Jacob Slavin. It's going to be one that looks like that when we just funnel everything to the net. So if you're Washington, you got to sit there and be like, we know this pressure's coming. We know that we're going to go through stretches. I think it's a mentality. You're not going to have the puck for long stretches. You might feel like you're on the run, but as long as you can kind of limit grade A's, and I thought they did a pretty good job considering there was 94 shot attempts from the other team. Washington didn't really give up any crazy grade A's on a consistent basis. So I don't think it's the end all be all, but it's going to look like that. Like, that's how Carolina plays. If their power play can get going, I think that can help give them confidence offensively. But it was an eye opener, I think, for the Capitals.
Oh yeah, for sure. Toronto, Florida. Rupper, I'm not even going to ask you what you thought of the Bennett hit because I know what you thought. It wasn't a suspension, nor should it be, and we move on from it. But if you're Toronto, do you feel it's playoffs? Even if you don't think it was, the Maple Leafs might think it's dirty, and their guy's out. And now we don't know if he's out because of the initial, slap shot to the head or the second hit from Bennett. Does somebody have to challenge Bennett tonight in your eyes in the playoffs, or because it's the playoffs you don't do it?
Absolutely not. And I'm one where I usually look for opportunities to say yes in that moment as far as trying to right a wrong or however you want to verbalize it. It's not the time. It's not the time. And the fact, Greg's, that there was no call on the ice, I think actually can help you. Just go about your business right now. I think that these referees are human. They watch and they know what's happened in the missed call that was had there with Sam Bennett. I think that they're going to be really ultra focused because of how, quite frankly, dirty Florida's been in the playoffs. Like, they're going to have a microscope on them. Go play your game. Go focus on Toronto Maple Leaf hockey. The Florida Panthers, I thought, were extremely undisciplined in game 1. I'm not even meaning with plays like that. Obviously, wasn't penalized. But just the offensive zone penalties. I mean, they gave up. They went on the PK 5 times. If you're going to do that with Toronto, you got away with it in round 1. I don't think it's going to bode well. So I think you just stay about your business. There's the time and place for it. It might have to wait till next year. But right now, you got bigger fish to fry if you're the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Well, their big guns showed up, Rupper, in game 1. And now here's an opportunity. Like, obviously they want to win the second game. Florida's going to be hungry. What are the Leafs and how do you think the goaltending is going to impact the series? What does Toronto have to continue to do? Because, hey, they were up 4-1. Florida made it close. How do they have to make sure that final 30 minutes doesn't carry over into game 2?
Yeah, I guess when I'm looking at game 1, I love everything Toronto did. I mean, their start couldn't have been any more perfect than it was. I mean, get the crowd going, get your big guys going. Willie Nylander was incredible in the first period, and that's coming off of what he did in the last game against Ottawa as well. So you've got that going for you. I was a little concerned at the way the third period looked because Florida started looking like Florida, but you had 40 minutes where you made them look very pedestrian. And I think you got to try to keep getting back to that control and play. Florida's they're a championship caliber team. They're not going to just roll over. So you're going to get it. But I was really impressed with Toronto. I think you're sitting there, game 2. I think it's important to get the crowd in it again. I think the first goal early on, I think it will serve them very well. But the biggest thing to me is, if this power play can get going a little bit, and they were started off on fire against Ottawa, and I think they're 1-13 as that series went later, and then bleeding into the last game. If that can get going a little bit, I think you take the wind right out of Florida sails. So I think Toronto's in a good spot right now. Joseph Woll, I'm not concerned about. This guy's had pretty good playoff numbers in his times playing in the playoffs. I think they'll be good with him.
Winnipeg, Dallas gets going tonight. What are your thoughts on Hellebuck and the Jets and their chances against Dallas?
Yeah, I mean, I hate to always bring it and make it about Connor Halley, but that's where my focus is. I think that if Winnipeg's going to win that series, Connor Halley has to be Connor Halley. And I don't think we've seen that yet. And I hate to, I'm not going to say, he can't get it done in the postseason. He hasn't gotten it done, but that doesn't mean he can't get it done. And I think there's a big difference there. And we'll see how he recalibrates. But, I'm concerned with the injuries in Winnipeg. I think the roster, and I love their roster, I just think there's more high-end talent in Dallas that they've been able to withstand the no Robertson, the no Heiskanen. I just wonder in my mind, what is Mark Scheifele going to look like? Morrissey being out, or that's of concern for me. So, I think it's going to fall on Connor Halley. That's where it's at, and I hate to keep going back to that well as far as conversations go, but that's how important he is for this team to go on.
Without Scheifele, Morrissey, hey, I know that Dallas doesn't have Heiskanen or Robertson, although it sounds like they could be coming back. And if Winnipeg doesn't have Morrissey or Scheifele, I think they're hard pressed to beat them anyway. But man, if they don't have those two guys and the way Hellebuck's played thus far, I give him no chance.
Yeah, no, I agree. I'm watching just even Scheifele. I needed a Scheifele in that game 7 against St. Louis, and they obviously get by and they win, but it just feels like that is a huge hole. Having that time center, Mark Scheifele could do a little bit of everything for you. So I think Morrissey is a huge miss. This is a guy that, I think he was in a lot of people's conversation for the Norris this year for the success that the Winnipeg Jets had. But I think Neil Pionk's been incredible picking up that slack with Morrissey being out. But I think Mark Scheifele's kind of the key cog up front to try to kind of make everybody balance out and look the way they look. So I think they got to get both these guys back, and sooner rather than later.
Rupper, great stuff as always, buddy. We'll talk to you next week as we kind of hit the nuts and bolts. Usually games 4, games 5 of the series is where we have lots more to talk about. So enjoy the games, my man.
All right, looking forward to it. You as well. Enjoy, and we'll talk later.
You betcha. There's Mike Rupp from the NHL Network. And man, I mentioned Oiler fans. So last night you saw the first team ever, come from behind 5 consecutive games in the NHL and win in the playoffs. Never happened before. So you're seeing things ever. How about Connor McDavid? So Connor McDavid last night picks up 2 assists. His first assist was his 90th career assist in his 81st playoff game. Only Gretzky was quicker in 67. Marilyn Lemieux, 97 games. That's just games played here. That's how good of a run McDavid's on. And Evan Bouchard, his 50th playoff assist as a defenseman, second fastest in NHL history. He did it in 60 games. Bobby Orr, 59 games. That's some pretty that's pretty good by Bouchard, man. And I thought all the defense, but Bouchard, Klingberg, Nurse, I thought those 3 really led the way defensively last night and offensively with their puck moving for the Edmonton Oilers. Also, you saw something in the playoffs this year that has never happened before. We'll tell you what it is next on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Explore beyond the boundaries of capability and value during Truck Month at GMC. Right now, get 0% financing for up to 72 months on the 2025 Sierra 1500 Crew Cab Pro Graphite. With a TurboMax engine delivering 310 horsepower, GMC Pro safety features including automatic emergency braking, plus a max towing of up to 9,500 pounds. You'll be ready for anything this Truck Month. Ask your GMC dealer for details.
It's Customer Appreciation Day at Vitality Health Foods. Take 25% off select products like Golax by Healthology for healthy digestion, Salus Milk Thistle Extract to protect your liver, and Healthology's Gut Effects. Customer Appreciation is the first Tuesday and Wednesday of each month. Visit Vitality Health Foods today.
Dang. Last season, you bought new clubs to fix your game. You spent the entire season trying to learn how to hit with your magic clubs. And guess what? Dang. They didn't help your game. Now you're convinced it's your swing, but it really is your clubs. Even though you were told the ones you bought were the best ever made, if they were, you would have gotten better. Every day at Fitted Golf, we continue to prove the right clubs make all the difference in the world. From beginners to pros, Fitted Golf makes all the difference. Yes, fittedgolf.ca.
Find the perfect tractor for any job at Edmonton Kubota. Their massive selection of compact tractors has something for everyone, whether you're tackling small tasks or big projects. And right now, take advantage of 0% financing for up to 72 months. It's never been easier to get the power and reliability you need. Come down to Edmonton Kubota today and drive away with the tractor that's just right for you. Edmonton Kubota, where your perfect tractor awaits.
Garage Superstore by Premier Built Garages is the ultimate destination for everything garage. Storage solutions and cabinets? Garage Superstore has it. Vehicle hoists? Got those too. Durable polyaspartic floor coatings? You bet. From mess to masterpiece, one garage at a time. And when it's time to eat, Traeger Grills brings the heat with wood-fired flavor that can't be beat. Need it? They've got it at Garage Superstore by Premier Built Garages. Visit their massive 8,000 square foot showroom at Calgary Trail and 34th or garagesuperstore.ca.
O'Hanlon Paving is looking for finished skid steer operators, finished grader operators, Class 1 drivers, and more to join their Edmonton Road Crew team. Bring your positive attitude and great work ethic to their job fair, Friday, May 9th from 10 till 3. Visit o'hanlonpaving.com/careers.
Hi there, I'm Ryan Reynolds, and like most actors, I have a list of things that I like to have on set. It's called a rider. It's just little things like wind chimes being blown by an easterly breeze, a 7-year-old calico cat growing on my lap, and, of course, 2 freshly cracked eggs, scrambled, with crispy hash brown, sausage crumble, and creamy chipotle sauce from Tim Hortons. It smells amazing. Now, where did I put that hand-carved wooden spoon? From my rider to Tim's menu, try my new scrambled eggs loaded breakfast box.
For a rock-solid start on all your spring and summer projects, Bashaw Concrete Products. From concrete to septic tanks, precast water pads to outhouses, plus aggregates, landscaping supplies, and more. Renos, construction. Start planning right now at BashawConcrete.com or call 780-372-3854. That's 780-372-3854. Family owned and operated, proudly serving Albertans since 1963. Bashaw Concrete Products.
Hey campers, Brent Fullerton from Carefree RV. Are you looking to get a little further away from it all these days? We have the perfect solution with our incredible selection of adventure vans. From luxury touring to off-grid and all-wheel drive, experience companies like Road Trek, ProLite, Coachman, and of course Winnebago. You can get away and start your adventure today with carefreerv.ca.
Kevin Carius, Low Tide, Jason Gregor. They are all ready for the Cup run. Sports 1440 is your home for all things hockey, including our pre- and post-game show with Andrew Walker. Sports 1440 is Edmonton's sports leader.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Garage Superstore by Premier Built Garages, the ultimate destination for everything garage, storage solutions, cabinets, vehicle hoists, accessories, and even Traeger grills. Visit our massive 8,000 square foot showroom at Calgary Trail and 34th Ave or online at garagesuperstore.ca.
Hat tricks, touchdowns, and home runs. Get it all with the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
2:45. Oh, a little old school Brian Adams on a lovely Wednesday afternoon. Got a lot of texts coming in. 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. Greggs, can I just ask you a non-sports question? Who dresses you? You're always finely dressed. Well, I dress myself, Paul. Thank you very much. But I do get the vast majority of my clothes at Mr. Dirk. I've had a good partnership with them for a long time. And hey, I like to every now and then Sterl will come up with something that I thought I'd never wear, like sweaters, and some of them look really good. But I do. We kind of, I can go into the store, and I definitely when it comes to suits, I like to pick out most of my own suit colors and stuff. And so there, you know what, Dirks will hand make a suit. Like you can go through the book, you can pick out a certain pattern, or come in with an idea of a pattern, and they'll make it for you. It's unreal. So I like it. Check it out, Mr. Dirk. Now. Let's and I appreciate the comment, Paul. Thank you very much. Let's get to the NBA report, playoff report, brought to you by Legacy Heating and Cooling. Home to no payments, no interest for 1 year on your AC unit. The heat's coming. Jeez, it's already here. You don't want SWAS, you want cool. Get it at legacyheating.ca. And how about this? We're talking about all the things we haven't seen in the NHL. Well, how about the NBA? Second round, never in history have the 4 road teams won game 1 in round 2 of the NBA playoffs until this year. And the Pacers, oh my God, the Indiana Pacers, 2 comebacks down by 7 points. It's only happened like 3 times ever in NBA history, and they've done it twice in the last week. Like, it's crazy. Absolutely crazy what's going on in the association. Leo Rautins from TSN and NBA TV Canada joins us. Leo, my goodness, let's start with the Pacers. You want to talk about the Cinderella comeback kids. There's no one better than that. That's remarkable. I want to ask you, as a former player, do you think Halliburton missed that second free throw on purpose?
Well, he very well may have. I mean, I'll tell you one thing about this kid. He's taken a lot of heat, and I'll be honest with you, I haven't been the biggest fan of his. There's a lot of things he does that kind of get under my skin, but I'll tell you what, with all the criticism, he's come back hard. He's got a cockiness about him that I wouldn't put a play like this past him, right? He just finds a way to come through and make plays, and he's been special so far since everybody's come out and said a lot of people feel players feel he's the most overrated player. He has answered the call, and man, was he big last night.
Oh gosh, it was massive for them. And geez, I know that Cleveland's a little bit banged up, and man, but when your best guy gets almost 50 points and you still don't win, that's got to be pretty demoralizing.
It is. I mean, they are very banged up. I mean, you're talking about defensive stud like Mobley, who can also score around the basket. Garland, when they have Garland on the floor with Mitchell, that's as good of a 1-2 combo in the backcourt as you get. You're missing 3 key players for this team that it's very difficult to overcome. And so, it's a bad situation to be in. And here's something we've seen with Mitchell. Nobody doubts his talent, but can you win in the postseason? And obviously you're not going to hang everything on a guy when you're missing 3 key players. But at the same time, you're looking at when he puts up his biggest numbers, that oftentimes does not lead to success. And, I think he took 30 shots in this game. Yeah, you're down, but Ty Jerome, he didn't answer the call. He struggled. He's been really good for them, but he really struggled shooting the basketball. So when you have that many players missing, where you're putting up big time amount of shots, but down the stretch, could have been fatigue. He was part of a few plays that hurt them, and there wasn't enough supporting cast. So tough situation to be in. He's a great player, but here's the reality of the NBA. You can talk about who's there, who's not there, but you're always going to be judged by what you do in the postseason. And that's where his biggest struggles, not scoring, but winning, have come.
Yeah, that's totally fair. Steph Curry, they win game 1, but they lose Steph Curry. He's going to have an MRI, probably out short time. Can the Warriors withstand Minnesota without Curry?
In a 7-game series, that's going to be really, really hard to do. I thought Minnesota played horribly. The last 2 games, including last series, they did not shoot the ball from 3. And then, not even anywhere near what they're capable of, 2, what they have to shoot. But we saw against the Lakers, and if you want to go comparatively, the Lakers were not a big team, right? And J.J. Redick played even smaller, electing not to play Hayes, who plays for him, during the course of the season. So it's going to be really hard to beat Minnesota. Even with Curry, I thought as well as Minnesota play against the Lakers, it's going to be a challenge. Now you take him out of the mix, it's going to be a challenge. So I'd be hard pressed to say that the Golden State Warriors can win if they don't get Curry back at some significant level of capacity to be able to play. You're not going to be able to, being a smaller team, you're not going to be able to hang your hat on a lot of role players coming in and stepping up. I mean, you look at last night's game, Draymond Green at 18, he knocked down, I believe, 4 threes in the first half. When do you see that from him? That's not a normal game. Jimmy Butler's great. He can be great. But, Buddy Hield, he's answered the call last 2 games now. But, again, without Curry, for a team based on 3-point shooting and the way their style of play, it's going to be really hard.
The Knicks and the Nuggets, the other 2 road teams who won, the Knicks in Boston, the Nuggets in OKC. OK was the best team all regular season. Let's go to that Nuggets Thunder series and kind of how you saw Game 1 unfold, and what do you think OKC's got to do to rebound?
Well, OKC, they need to have everybody. Obviously, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is the key for them, and he was fantastic. He plays great all the time. But their bigs really have to step up in this series. When you look at Jokic, Jokic willed that team to victory. If you look at how animated he was, that's the most animated I've seen him. And we see him a lot, get animated with his teammates and in the bench. But that was the most I've seen him. He just was not going to lose that game. No matter what he had to do, he was going to try to get it done. And he really carried them emotionally and with his play on the floor. So they're a tough challenge. And what Denver's getting is, even though Jamal Murray did not have the greatest game, but they're getting what they got in the championship year. With Murray at a high level, Aaron Gordon is at an unbelievable level, and Jokic at a high level. You have enough of a supporting cast that knows what they're supposed to do and can contribute significantly. So their experience is a big difference maker, right? The one thing I said about Oklahoma City, I love that team. I love their depth. I love what they've done, but that's still a young team. They did add some veterans in Caruso and Hartenstein. And those guys have made a big difference for this team. But the overall experience of the 2 teams, you got to give Denver the advantage in that area. So it's going to be an interesting series. I fully expect OKC to bounce back in Game 2. I think in their minds, they let that one slip away. So we'll see how it turns out after tonight.
And, a lot of people had Boston, something they're the best team in the league. They lose to the Knicks, man. Like, Jalen Brunson can play on my team any day, Leo. What's your thoughts on him just as a gamer and a competitor?
As a gamer, he's as good as you get, right? This guy he's tough. He doesn't let anything bother him. I mean, he can miss, big shots the game before that matter. He'll bounce right back the next game like he made every shot. Nothing bothers him. He can miss his last 5. He'll make his next 5. I love players like that. Hey, sorry, I got my dogs here. I love players that you cannot get into their head. The crazier the fans get, it makes him play even better. And so I don't think, we haven't seen a lot of guys with that kind of mental toughness in recent years, the way we're seeing from him. And here's the thing with Boston Boston, they won last year, and they're a team that I think is obviously a good team. They've got experience, but they're not a great team. And I think you mentioned right off the top how the road teams have all won. There's no great teams right now. that we're seeing, and they're good teams. Don't make a mistake. I'm saying they're good teams, but there's no great teams. So anything can happen right now. Anything, like if you tell me this team swept or this team did this or this team, I would not be surprised right now because there's a fair amount of parity. And even in this New York-Boston series, New York can win it. Boston can win it. I wouldn't be shocked either way it goes. But a player like Brunson, he's a difference maker. He's a guy that, and his teammates understand him. His teammates go with it. They ride him. A lot of people say, hey, why is this guy pounding the ball? Why is this guy taking this many shots down the stretch? Hey, his teammates are going with it. They take what's there, and they deliver when he's not putting, like we saw with Mikal Bridges down the stretch in overtime. We saw what he did. They respond to playing well around him.
Leo, as always, man, great stuff. We appreciate it. Enjoyed. It's been an interesting second round of the playoffs for sure in the NBA. The road teams winning all over the place. We'll see if it continues. Thanks so much for your time.
All right, man. Be good.
There you go. That's Leo Rautins joining us from Raptors TV, also NBA TV Canada. If you're an NBA fan, how can you, I love playoffs. I don't know about you guys, Cons, do you watch the NBA playoffs?
Oh, yeah. Always checking in throughout the night. It's been outstanding. Like the drama we're getting right now, just top notch comebacks in a bunch of games. It's been outstanding basketball so far.
Yeah, it's you know what? It's that ending of the Pacer game last night was wild. You think just a recent game series. So you've had the Pacers twice. You throw in the Jets game, the latest tie game ever in NHL playoff history. You throw in the comeback for the Dallas Stars. If you're a sports fan, and even the Oilers, it's a 2-2 game. Boom, they score 2 goals in a minute and a half in the final 3 minutes of the game. It's no lead is safe, which is awesome. I love it. Absolutely love it. The old adage, you got to play 60 minutes. Well, it's definitely proven itself right now. The games are never over 100%. Now, maybe that'll change as we go along. But right now, it's awesome. I saw a video. I don't even know what they call it in Winnipeg, their version of the Moss Pit. There was somebody who was videoing the big screen. They're outside and they're watching the crowd and everybody's out there. And just when they scored, there's you could hear people, oh my God, we're going to lose, right? You're standing there, you're watching and you want to cheer for your team to the last final second, and most do. And then they score 3 seconds left. You're just as a fan, you're that's why I cheer. I'll never not cheer just in case it happens again. It's fantastic. Let's get to the con man and a Sports 1440 update brought to you by your Alberta GMC dealers. Truck month continues on right now. Got a $5,000 cash purchase credit on 2025 Sierra HD models. Learn more at GMC Canada. See it.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
2 games on the ice tonight in the Stanley Cup playoffs at 5 o'clock. It is Leafs and Panthers once again from Toronto. Leafs up 1-0 in that series. And at 7:30, the Jet Stars kicking off their series from Winnipeg. In the association, 2 games as well. Celtics and Knicks meeting in Boston at 5. Knicks lead 1-0. And then at 7:30, you got the Thunder trying to get back into their series with the Nuggets from OKC. In the majors, Jays up against the Angels once again. First pitch set for 7:38. Earlier today at the Guardians knocking off the Nationals 8-6. Astros over the Brewers 9-1. And the Cards shut out the Pirates 5-0. PWHL tonight, Minnesota in Toronto. That'll get going at 5 o'clock. From the NFL, Cowboys and Steelers making a deal today, sending George Pickens to the Dallas Cowboys for a 2026 third-rounder. Cowboys also sending a 2027 fifth-rounder to the Steelers for a 6th-round pick in 2027. And the Jacksonville Jaguars releasing wide receiver Gabe Davis just over 1 year after signing him to a 3-year contract worth $39 million. And the Canadian Football League announcing today that they have suspended Winnipeg Blue Bombers quarterback Zach Claros for 1 regular season game for failing to respond to a request for drug testing officials from the Canadian Center for Ethics in Sports. In a statement from the league, they said they tried to reach him twice by phone, once by text, and once by email over a 2-hour period, and he did not reply within the required 24 hours. Coming up in hour 2 of the Jason Gregor Show, we'll be joined by Tyler Yaremchuk of Oilers Nation and be joined by Gary McLean and Chloe Robbins as we discuss the Rose City Invitational. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
In Sports 1440, a Stingray radio station broadcasting on Treaty 6 territory.
Download the free iHeartRadio app and listen to CKJR wherever you go.
The month of May brings machines, mud, and for us, many an opportunity. We're GS Construction, and we love the warmer weather because it means we can get to work. But to keep things moving, we need the right people on our team. You built your skills. You know your work matters. Now's the time to bring that experience to a crew that gets it. We're hiring experienced top men and pipe layers. So if you're ready to dig in and be part of a team that has your back, apply now at gsconstruction.ca for this great opportunity.
Hey, Alberta. The all-new Play Alberta app is here. Casino, sports betting, lottery, all in one app, right on your phone. And because it's Play Alberta, you know it's safe, secure, and reliable. Download it now and play over 500 online casino games, live dealer tables, and unique games you'll love. Plus, bet on sports from anywhere in the province. You in? Download Play Alberta now from your phone's app store and deposit using promo code OIL for a $100 casino bonus on the house. That's promo code OIL for a $100 casino bonus.
Wednesday afternoon.
April Showers brought huge deals to Wolf GMC Buick. It's truck month all of May, and we froze our prices on in-stock inventory to save you money. Get 0% financing for up to 72 months on
Oilers
some of the
Nation.
most popular Sierra pickups, or select up to $8,000 off on these amazing trucks. If you're in need of an SUV, good news.
Old school
We have a
Brian
great selection of
Adams.
Buicks and
What a
GMCs.
lovely
Plus, Costco
Wednesday
members may
afternoon.
be
Got a lot
eligible
of
for an
texts.
additional
Got a-
$1,200 discount.
Got a
What
lot
are you
of
waiting
Wednesday.
for? Spring in to Wolf GMC
love-
Buick. Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy.
I'm Colin Livingston, president of Cantork. Since 2016, we've been at the forefront of hydraulic torque wrenches in Canada. I'm delighted to share our latest venture, in-house production for quicker turnaround, superior quality, and heightened versatility. Experience excellence at cantork.com.
Grant Fedoruk here from Leading Edge Physiotherapy. Now, some people live with problems they don't have to because they might not know that we're here, the things we can do, and the issues we can help. Problems less talked about, like incontinence, vertigo, Bell's palsy, and lymphedema, or even things people live with every day, like shoulder, neck, and low back pain. So while a lot of people already know we have the people, tools, and technology to help you head to toe, I'm going to keep at this, because if just one more person gets the care they need, then every penny we spend sharing what and who we can treat is worth it. Life shouldn't hurt. LeadingEdgePhysio.com.
I won't shave till we bring home the cup. And I like to do a shot for every playoff goal.
My jersey's not coming off until we're the city of champs again.
Want a playoff superstition that always wins? Pick up a bag of Wilhock beef jerky for every game. Because when it comes to the playoffs, where there's a Wilhock, there's a way.
Make every playoff game a Will Hockey game day with Will Hock beef jerky. Only available in Leduc. Get yours today, because you don't bring home the cup with salad.
Do it, do it, do it. Your vehicle is a big investment. Protect it at Hughes Car Wash. We use only clean, fresh water and the highest quality car wash soap. Hughes Car Wash, the car wash pros.
Find us at hughescarwash.com.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Crystal Glass, your clear choice for residential windows. Locally manufactured and installed, Crystal Glass provides a beautiful product and incredible customer services for all of your residential needs. Call 310-GLASS or visit crystalglass.ca for a quote.
Hat tricks, touchdowns, and home runs. Get it all with the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
I don't know if you, Cons, did you see the press conference with Jimmy and Buddy with the Warriors? Did you see it?
No, I didn't see that.
And Jimmy was calling him Buttered. He was saying Buddy short for Buttered. Like Budderd. Oh, people were believing him. God, that's funny. Those two, like, they were having a press conference, and then it was just like it got into a chirp fest. It was actually quite comical, going back and forth, because Draymond had called one Batman and one Robin, and of course, guys like, I'm not Robin, I'm Batman, but it was Because Buddy was pretty good again for the Golden State Warriors, man. That guy has been red hot shooting the ball. Welcome back. It is the Gregor Show on Sports 1440, Oilers Nation, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. Because seriously, when you think about it, like no one in Edmonton ever calls Draisaitl Robin, right? Oh, McDavid's Batman, he's Robin. They don't, right? Because like, no offense to Robin, but it's not. You're like the sidekick, but you're not the main dog, and that's fine. But I don't know. Not that Robin wasn't important, but it's not the same. I get it. I can see why. So, plus he didn't have as cool of an outfit either. Let's call a spade here. Like that red, green, yellow combination. It's hard to pull off. It's hard to pull off. So, do I go now? Here comes the sun. We'll give you a little bit of a tester for anybody listening. We're going to do it in about 5 minutes time. Okay, a little bit earlier because we pre-taped our segment today for the business of sport, which comes in the 4 o'clock hour, which I highly recommend. I think you're really going to enjoy it, especially if you've got a son or daughter playing minor hockey. You're definitely going to want to listen to that. And even if you don't, you play men's league, or hey, you watch the Oilers, it all connects from the NHL down to minors in different ways. So I think you'll enjoy it. So we'll do Here Comes the Sun coming up in a few moments. The Oilers, of course, we recapped that game. We got a lot of texts coming in from last night, 833-401-1440 in our email inbox, 833-401-1440. And when you look at the game last night, we've had a few texts. Hey, guys, if it was the other way around, would Oiler fans be screaming about the puck carrier for Brown? I thought Vegas would challenge closing his hand on the puck. He grabbed it, turned up ice, and dropped it from Brad. Well, I watched the replay, Brad, again, and if you watch Brown, it looks like when the puck comes down, it's in his arm, not in his glove hand. And it's so quick. Usually you can take it, as long as you don't fully grab it in your hand, but you can palm the puck and then drop it, and you're not going to get a penalty. So, but the one replay, because you see the puck and it kind of disappears, it looks like he might even cradle it in his arm a little bit and took a strike. I don't think there was anything there that you could have challenged or be screaming for a penalty when you watch the angle, because you don't really see where the puck is. We're just making a guess. And what did Carey Fraser teach us many years ago? The number one flaw you can make as an official is guess. If you can't think that the puck is here or there, or, well, I think he slashed him, you either got to see it or you don't, and you never want to guess. So, hey, boys, looking at the lineup, I'll be honest, I was one who was mad that Jeff Skinner's in. Now that I see Frederick and Kane and what they're doing, even Podkolzin, I don't see any reason why you'd play Jeff Skinner. We talked about that beforehand. We said, who would you take out? And to me, it kind of came to, they're never taking out Brown and Janmark because they're your two main penalty killers. They're not taking them out. And what they do in the playoffs, I think, has been proven again that those guys know how to elevate their game in the playoffs. You weren't taking out the four centers. You weren't taking out Hyman. Obviously, you weren't taking out Kane. I didn't think you were ever taking out Frederick. So that really left Perry, Arvidsson, and Podkolzin. And all Kerry Perry's doing is scoring goals. Got 3 goals now in the playoffs. Not going to take him out. Right? Arvidsson scored a goal. He led the team in shots last night at 5-on-5. That line's been pretty good. And Podkolzin's physical. He is your fifth penalty killer, like when Brown took the penalty last night. Now Podkolzin's out there. So I don't see a role or a place for Jeff Skinner. I just don't. So never mind the style of player. If you just look at schematically to the team, who would you even contemplate taking out? You know what? When Skinner gets in, he'll probably be fine, but he'll be your 13th forward. And depending on who goes out, they might even see Kapanen go in. If all of a sudden one of their penalty killers went down, you might see Kapanen go in because he's a penalty killer. Hey, boys, the Oilers are playing great. Has Ekholm started skating yet? From Mark. Mark, good question. I can't confirm he has. The last time I checked, which was right before the series, he hadn't. So, you know what? That was on Sunday I checked in. So, hadn't skated then. So, I'm going to guess no. But, he might start light skates by himself now. He's, I was told best case scenario is mid to late third round. That's best case. I'm not even sure, if that's realistic or not. But they're not going to rush him back, and really there's no need to. Hey guys, Klingberg is Bouchard with more urgency and a little less. I dropped my Werthers in the D zone, but Bouchard's rounding into form on Torrey Mome. Evan Bouchard had the first 2 games against LA. Since then, he's been fine. More than fine. I don't see how you can complain about Bouchard's game after the first two. I've had no problem with his game at all. And he was really solid last night. I thought Nurse was good. Klingberg was good. The other defensemen were fine, but I thought those three definitely were good. Hey, boys, my only critique on the game was why did Janmark try that pass on the 2-on-1 Jeff? Jeff, totally fair. Totally fair. You know, I think what happened there was, so Janmark's coming down, and the defenseman is clearly shielding for him to shoot the puck. And Janmark looks, but he kind of commits almost too early and didn't see, because when you see where Brown scored and Hyman scored, right? Now, one was low glove, but where did Zach Hyman score? What did Kevin Woodley say? You want to shoot high glove. And that's where he scored. And in an ideal world, I would like Janmark to shoot there. The defenseman was clearly shielding over and was taking away the pass. You don't get many looks like that. You want to rip it and make it count. So we'll see. Hey, Gregor, what are your thoughts on the penalty on Brown? So I think when you look at the penalty, you have to understand, now the ref was in the right position, right? He's in that corner on the right side, but he's coming behind Brown. When they showed the replay from the front side, which, by the way, the ref's not standing at, it was more obvious that the Vegas defender had made contact. But did he make enough contact to clear? Like, I think Brown was going in that lane. Now, the Vegas guy gave him a bump, but I could see how the referee in real time, not slow motion, in real time, and maybe because of what happened, was there a memo sent out? We'll see in other games that, hey, guys, contact on the goalies, we're going to be a little bit more diligent on. It could happen. I don't know. I'd have to ask the officials. But when I saw the refs, and you have to remember, his positioning is what he's going to see. When you show the front side, that's why I don't like showing that video review, because the ref's not standing there. He's not seen from that angle. So why are we showing it? You're just showing it to stir the embers and get everybody fired up. But he can't see that angle when he's on the other side of the ice. And he wasn't in the bad position. He was in the right position on that play. So it's a tough one. I could see how Brown was a little annoyed. There was definitely some contact there, for sure. Was it enough to force him into the goal? I think he was kind of going to the net anyway. And that's okay. I like it. Like, Brown's game right now, you go to the net hard. And if you get the odd penalty, I would totally live with it. I would totally live with it. So, hey, Gregor, what are your thoughts on the Nurse Burst pairing? They're not too much of the same strength and weaknesses. Again, they don't play 100% of the time together. My thoughts on the Nurse and Bouchard pairing were, last night they were great. Other games, they've been all right. Now, last night they played more together. But both of those guys still played close to 20 minutes 5-on-5, and they only played 9 minutes together. Right? The Oilers are basically playing 5 defensemen. So, if you're getting so worked up about Nurse and Bouchard, like, as a pairing, they weren't on the ice for a 5-on-5 goal. They were actually, Nurse, when he was on the ice, the Oilers outshot the opposition 5-on-5, 13-3. And I think Bouchard was 12-3. I have no complaints at all about how they played last night. Was there a few hiccups in another game? Sure. But because a guy has one bad night or a pairing has one bad night, you don't just say, well, I can never play them. They have 5 defensemen, people. If you're going to say Nurse and Bouchard can never play together and you have 5 defensemen, then you're playing them every second shift. One of them's double shifting all the time, right? I don't see how that's going to work. I have no problem with how they played last night. And you know what? I have no problem with the rotation of the defensemen right now. I don't see how you can complain about it. It's been very, very good. So now let's get to Here Comes the Sun, your chance to qualify and win a $15,000 turnkey solar system for your home. So not only is it 15 grand you're saving on the installation, you're saving all the money for the next however many years that you have it. And it's lowering your bill. Like, this is think about it. Even if it just lowers, $100 a month, because I know having it at the farm, it's more than that, but let's go, and say it's $100. So that's $1,200 a year for 10 years. Not to mention the $15,000. This is a massive prize package courtesy of Action Electrical. And we're going to go from last night in the Oiler game. Many of you, I assume, Most of you watched it. And can you, we talked about this earlier in the show, but can you tell me which forward led the Oilers in shots on goal? I'll give you a hint. He had 5. The entire Vegas team of forwards had 7. Now, he didn't score a goal, but man, I thought he had a really good game. He was all over the ice. 5 shots on goal to lead the Oilers last night. Name the player. 833-401-1440. 833-401-1440 in our inbox. Include your name with his name, and you could be qualified and win this awesome prize pack. We'll take a quick break. We'll come back. We'll have the winner on the other side. We got your Remchuk and more on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Mr. Rooter hits the gym.
As a new Mr. Rooter plumber, you get access to our company gym.
Nice. Where's the equipment?
Over here, we have a variety of tight pickle jars. Open those up to work out your pipe wrenching muscles. We've got your standard weighted plungers, and over here, a pipe wrench.
Why is that guy forcing his body into a suitcase?
He's getting limber. A good plumber must be able to fit under any sink.
For a plumber who always works out, call Mr. Rooter.
At Fountain Tire, we're all about one thing, taking care of your vehicle. Oh, and your wallet. I guess that's 2 things. Save up to 20% off select tires until June 14th. Fountain Tire. We're on this road together.
Experience more at the Edmonton Expo Center. Come for Canada's largest trade show, the biggest names in entertainment, exhilarating sporting events, and more. Stay for the experience. But it doesn't end there. Maximize your brand exposure with Edmonton Expo Center's new cutting-edge feature screens, spanning Western Canada's largest venue space. Captivate an annual audience of over 1 million visitors during iconic events like Pro Rodeo, Disney on Ice, Glow, K-Days, and so much more. To learn more, call 780-660-0514 or visit EdmontonExpoCenter.com today.
The Bricks tent sale is on now. With so many items to clear out, they've had to set up tents in the parking lot. Save up to 60% off clearance items in the tent and store. With new specials every day and a bonus gift with furniture purchases over $999, these offers won't last long. Save up to 50% off select mattresses, up to 25% off of bedroom and dining furniture, and the more you buy, the more you save, up to an extra $1,000 off appliances. Some exclusions apply. See in-store for details. The Brick, saving you more.
Blue Jays baseball is back
on Sports 1440.
This Saturday and Sunday, listen live to the broadcast of Canada's favorite team. Proud to be the home of Blue Jays baseball. We are Sports 1440.
It's Customer Appreciation Day at Vitality Health Foods. Take 25% off select products like Golax by Healthology for healthy digestion, Salus Milk Thistle Extract to protect your liver, and Healthology's Gut Effects. Customer Appreciation is the first Tuesday and Wednesday of each month. Visit Vitality Health Foods today.
Hold on to your hockey helmet, Edmonton. On the Rocks is serving up 60-cent wings that fly off the plate faster than a slap shot. And Molson Canadians for $5.25. OTR's TVs, hey, they're so clear you'll see the puck better than the ref.
That ain't hard, is it?
And every game night during Edmonton's playoff run, specials start 30 minutes before puck drop and last for the whole game. Be a part of the legend. See the menu at ontherocksyeg.com.
Thursday, May 8th is McHappy Day, when every menu item purchased at McDonald's helps support families with sick children. So you can feel the good that comes from doing good, just from ordering.
So if I order a Big Mac, I'm helping.
Yup.
What about a McFlurry? 10-piece chicken McNuggets and apple pie?
You got it. Every single order helps. Join us at McDonald's for McHappy Day on Thursday, May 8th. Do good, feel good. A portion of food and beverage sales will support RMHC chapters and local children's charities across Canada.
Hey, Gary, is that your dad?
No, this is Evan, the new sales rep I hired.
Oh.
First impressions matter, but when hair loss takes over, it can feel like you're not being seen for the maverick you truly are. Hi, I'm Dr. Vance Elliott. At Advanced Hair and Skin Surgery, we know that hair loss is more than just a cosmetic issue. It's personal. Let's discuss all the cutting-edge options available so you can make a great impression every time.
Book a free consultation today at drvanceelliott.com.
If you bleed orange and blue and you're not using the all-new Play Alberta Sports and Casino app, then you're missing out. It's the only online sportsbook with odds boosts on all Oilers games. And now, it's not just sports. Play the slots, hit the tables, buy lottery tickets, all in one app, all across Alberta. Download Play Alberta now from your phone's app store and use promo code GOAL for a $100 bonus. That's promo code GOAL!
You got a go-to coffee spot, a trusted barber, even a lucky game day jersey. But when it's about looking your absolute best, there's only one name you need, Mr. Dirk. Family run since 1939, we're experts in crafting impeccable tailor-made suits and offering a wide variety of everyday styles. Pair that with personalized one-on-one fittings and the convenience of on-site tailoring. Mr. Dirk elevates your style game. Visit our Edmonton store or explore MrDirk.com. Score big on style with Mr. Dirk.
Excavators, loaders, lifts, compaction equipment, and more. Find the XCMG construction equipment you need. Available for rental or sale at Japa Machinery Group. Japa, helping build Alberta from the ground up for 50 years. Visit japamachinery.com.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Papa John's. Use promo code Gregor and get 20% off your order all day, every day. That's promo code Gregor before entering your order at papajohns.ca.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
.322. Welcome back. Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Sports 1440. Wooders Nation, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram, sports1440.ca. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening to the show. We appreciate it. Of course, it's a rest day for the Oilers and the Vegas Golden Knights. Will we see Pietrangelo? Who knows? And hey, the Oilers don't have Ekholm. And we know they're not going to have Ekholm, but nobody knew that Pietrangelo was going to be out. And kudos to the Oilers. They took advantage of it. When you get a break, it's only a break if you take advantage of it. And the Oilers took advantage of it. Now, I'm not saying Pietrangelo would have made a difference and suddenly that they would have had the puck way more. I'm pretty sure he wouldn't have. But still, he is one of their better defensemen. And not having him was a little bit of a blow to Vegas, and the Oilers use it to their advantage. We have a qualifier. Winner today. Now, our question to qualify today for Here Comes the Sun. Which Edmonton Oiler led the team in shots on goal last night? I talked about it earlier, how Victor Arvidsson and Adam Henrique combined for 8 shots. Victor Arvidsson had 5 shots. Didn't even play 10 minutes last night, but they were effective 10 minutes for Victor Arvidsson. So if you had Victor Arvidsson, you were in the draw. And Connor ran it through our, I like to call it the Spinorama. And our qualifier today to win the $15,000 turnkey system, solar system for your home is Bo. Bo, good afternoon, my man. How you doing?
Oh, I'm great. How are you?
Hey, fantastic. What'd you think of the Oiler game last night?
Oh, unreal. Winning game 1. That doesn't happen often, so that felt great.
How did you feel 10 minutes into the game, Bo?
Well, I think that 4-minute penalty kind of disrupted the flow for a bit, but the boys came back and they took over, so I was feeling good. Maybe a little after the 10-minute mark.
Do you have a favorite non-superstar Oiler?
Ooh, you know what? I'm going to go with Klingberg and that's new. I really like the way he's played lately. But yeah, that's a good question. There's a few of those.
Well, right now there's lots, right? There's lots of the support guys that are playing great, and that's what you need in the postseason for sure. Well, Bo, congratulations. You've qualified. You're a homeowner. You reside in the 50-kilometer radius of Edmonton. You can keep it or you can gift it. Have you thought either way you'd go if you win?
I'm all for gifting, but this is something we've wanted to do for a while at our house, so this would just be phenomenal if we won. So I'd love to keep it.
Awesome. Well, hey, that's great, man. It's an unbelievable package. I get it. So $15,000 plus all the saving for the lifetime of the unit. Stay on the line. Connor will update you. There's one final step for an email, and then you're in the draw. We will do it live on May 23rd. Have yourself a great day.
Thank you.
There you go. That's 2 weeks from this Friday. So I still got chances to qualify the remainder of this week and then next week. And then we'll make sure everybody has time to do all the stuff they have to do. And then we'll do the draw on Positive Friday, because it'll be a positive day for sure for someone to win. Now, your next chance to qualify will be in the 4 o'clock hour tomorrow on the show. Let's get to the oil report, brought to you by Volvo Cars Edmonton. Stop in right now. It is the May Day May event going on at Volvo, where you can make great savings on the Volvo XC90 plug-in hybrid. You can lease it at 1.49% and save an additional $5,000, but only till the end of the month. Stop in at Volvo Cars Edmonton as Tyler Yaremchuk from Oilers Nation and Daily Faceoff joins us. And Ty, 2 out of 3 games where for the majority of the game, the Oilers really shut down the LA Kings in Game 5, and then they did the same for the Vegas Golden Knights for the final 50 minutes. That to me looks like, they've had way more good defensive games than bad defensive games so far in the playoffs.
Oh yeah. Again, major reason why they turned things around against LA, and like even against Vegas, like I wouldn't even sit there and say the first 10 minutes were all that bad. It's just that 4-minute power play, kind of like what Bo was just saying on the line. Great analysis from him. I feel like he could have just done my segment for me. But like that first 10 minutes, if it wasn't for that first 4-minute power play throwing things off, I didn't actually think it was all that bad. The second Mark Stone goal, didn't love whatever Corey Perry was doing on that one. But yeah, the final 50 minutes of that game was just straight domination. And I know a lot of Golden Knights fans or just people online are sitting there going, they didn't have Pietrangelo. Like you wait until they get Pietrangelo back. And it's like, well, the Oilers didn't have Ekholm. So if anything, the Pietrangelo thing just even the playing field a little bit for a game from the injury perspective. But I mean, getting Pietrangelo will help. But the Golden Knights had 3 5-on-5 shots in the second and third period. Like he's not helping you get that to a respectable number. There's a lot of guys on that team who are going to need to be a lot better, or else the Oilers could be coming home with this series 2-0.
Well, hey, we'll see. That we saw it from Game 5 to Game 6. It can change quickly in the playoffs. And, for the Oilers to get a win like that was key. I think they've obviously got some confidence. They looked like the quicker team last night, and I expected them to be a faster team, but they really look quicker. And I thought they had some pre-scouting that we saw more stretch passes from the Oilers last night. That was set. It was not just fluke. That, to me, was a set game plan, and they kept beating Vegas on stretch passes most of the night.
Yeah, and you can look, I mean, the proof is in 2 of those highlights, right? John Klingberg twice on the first goal of the game, and then on that Zach Hyman, the game winner. He made just excellent feeds that kind of cut right across the final parts of his own end and then through the neutral zone, and that kick started the rush for the Oilers. So yeah, getting the puck out of their zone has been great. Another reason why John Klingberg's play is just such a revelation and so important for this hockey team, because I agree, Edmonton looks like the faster team. Vegas is definitely not the same team they were a couple of seasons ago when they beat the Edmonton Oilers in 6 games, and I like that Edmonton can adapt a little bit and be like, all right, let's turn up the pace a little bit here and recognize what our strength is in this matchup. So you're right. The pre-scout was awesome. I thought Jake Wallman had a great game. I thought Evan Bouchard had himself a really, really solid game as well. And if those 3 can keep it going, then they're going to keep being dangerous off the rush. Like always having one of those 3 guys on the ice to potentially deliver that quick strike. That's something Vegas might just really struggle with. We saw them struggle with it against Minnesota. You can go watch some of those Kaprizov and Boldy plays where like the 2 of them on the rush were killing the Golden Knights. So again, the idea that last night was just a 1-game blip, I think when you look at who the Golden Knights were and who the Golden Knights were in round 1 and through the regular season and what this Oilers team is capable of when they're playing well, last night might have not just been a blip.
Well, they're 4 lines. Like Arvidsson's on your 4th line. He had 5 shots on goal. The Brown Henrik line score another big goal. The Janmark Podkolzin, they had 2 Game 5 and 6. They scored big goals. Kane and Hyman, their second line comes up with the game-winning goal. And hey, McDavid and Draisaitl still did their part. Don't get me wrong, but you look at their last 3 wins here. It's not because the Stars are carrying the team.
It's not the Stars. It's not the power play doing all the offense. Like, again, 2 years ago when they played Vegas, They had 11 goals from McDavid and Draisaitl. Bouchard and Hyman, I think, combined for 3 more on the power play. Then the rest of their roster combined only had 5 goals. Like, I mean, by the end of game 2, they might match that total, but it's another reason to, again, maybe believe in this team as one that can go on another extended run. Because even if you want to be pessimistic and say, okay, how long can Connor Brown play this well? How long can that second line continue to be, quite honestly, elite, which they have been, and they definitely were in the King series? How long can Klingberg keep this up? And all these other things. Okay, but what happens if the Oilers power play gets red hot? What if Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl's production gets back to what it was that first year against Vegas, or what it usually is for stretches in the Stanley Cup playoffs? Like, even if they get a little bit of dip in the production from some of these more surprising sources, there's a case to be made that Connor and Leon actually have a little bit more in the tank here that they can give. And that should, again, have the Vegas Golden Knights feeling pretty scared.
Yeah, well, Vegas is going to play better than they played last night, right? Like, Edmonton played very well, and they deserve to win. There's no question. But I think Vegas will come in, and I think Vegas, maybe they got surprised by, well, I love Mike Rupp's analysis. He thought their line changes were awful. And Edmonton, caught them quite a few times on line changes. But, Vegas isn't going to have 3 shots on goal, 5-on-5 in 40 minutes, right? Like, they're going to be better. I do think Edmonton's speed was noticeable. And so, I think Vegas, if they're going to get, the way to get to Edmonton is you got to forecheck hard. But Edmonton's defensemen move the puck so quick, it's hard to forecheck him.
Yeah, again, like, it might just be a bad matchup. Third forward for Edmonton playing a really key role at both ends of the ice right now. And I mean, yeah, Vegas definitely has to play better, and they're definitely capable of playing better. But again, in talking to some people coming into this series, the general sense around the Golden Knights was like, okay, against Minnesota, while they won in 6 games, you at no point in that series saw Vegas's best. And I kind of got like some people saying like, oh, just wait until Vegas finds their best. And it's like, okay, well, now we're sitting on 2.5 weeks of you not having your best. Like, are they just going to be able to flip a switch and get going? And the other thing last night, his numbers weren't great, but I thought Aiden Hill made some really good saves. Like the bank goal off from Leon Draisaitl, that's bad luck. I mean, Aiden Hill, it's a floating puck. It was such a weird string of circumstances, but he made some massive saves on that one. The glove save on Connor McDavid, the power play stop coming across the ice. I mean, there were a couple goalposts for the Oilers as well. Like, Vegas has to play better, and Aiden Hill has to stay at the level he was at, because if it wasn't for Hill and it wasn't for a couple of bounces, like, that game could have been 4-2 a lot earlier on than it was.
Yeah, well, the Oilers kept with the scouting report on, on Hill, go high glove, and Zach Hyman went high glove and ultimately won them the game. John Klingberg, I'll be honest, in the regular season, you saw glimpses of it, but man, he could move. Now he's moving way better. And God, I thought Bouchard was good in small areas. Like John Klingberg at the offensive blue line, he'll have a forward right on him, and he doesn't ever panic. He's like, oh yeah, no problem. I'll just go forehand, backhand here and go around the guy. Like his, he's not afraid to try any pass. He's kind of like the Leon Draisaitl defenseman right now for the Oilers as far as any pass he'll try.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure you're in the same boat as me on this one, but when we're wrong about something, Gregor, our Twitter mentions are usually pretty full of people reminding us just how wrong we are. With Klingberg, I'm not getting a lot of that because, no one saw this coming. With how he played in the regular season and then going away with the infection and all that, he was an absolute forgotten piece. Didn't play game 1 of that series against the Kings. If you look any Oiler fan or anyone who follows this sport dead in the eyes and they tell you, oh, I knew John Klingberg was going to break out in this way, they're crazy. They're lying to you. So I always get a chuckle out of that. The things where just totally out of the blue, but it's been huge. And I think Stan Bowman obviously deserves a lot of credit. I was ready to write that deal off after his first, whatever it was, 10 or 11 games. I'm like, hey, this guy just doesn't have it. But now that he's back in the lineup and contributing, you kind of sit there and you're like, man, what would things be like if they didn't have Klingberg? The drop off, I guess Klingberg to Stetcher, maybe they would still be fine, but Klingberg's just been, never mind being competent replacement level, he's way above that. And like we just said, he's doing something in terms of transporting the puck and helping them off the rush that they wouldn't have been getting from anyone else. So yeah, that addition is just, it's working out better than anyone could have drawn it up.
Oh, 100%. And Trent Frederick, now it's a little bit easier, but Trent Frederick going Bo Jackson last night after he missed that good chance. He's got the Frank Costanza, serenity now. He's skating by, breaks his stick over his helmet. Trent Frederick's another guy who's looking better every game as well.
Yeah, and you can just tell in almost his skating stride and how he moves out there that injury seems to be getting better and better, or he's learning how to play with it more and more, whichever one it is. But those first few games back, and he does kind of have that like upright skating style, but he just looked so stiff trying to go in on the forecheck. And it's almost like you could see him wincing early in that LA series as he was going to hit someone, as he was just like bracing for the pain that was going to come. And now he just seems way more free, even jumping up on that rush the way he did and the way he's handling the puck. He's free. He's confident. And again, you can look back through his offensive totals in Boston. Like, there's a player there, and that wasn't a guy who was putting up numbers on the top power play unit or by playing with a all-world centerman and just tapping in pucks. Like, he played with third-line guys, and he found a way to produce 18 goals a season. So the Oilers have a player here. We're starting to see, now that he's healthy, the kind of guy that the Oilers were comfortable giving up the assets for. And I still think there's more here. Like, I'm sure if you asked him, he's still not at 100%. Like, if he can keep getting closer and closer to 100% and keep building on how good he's looked the last 2-3 games here, then again, maybe there's reason to believe that this third line and the depth scoring from Edmonton, maybe it's not a fluke, because maybe as Connor Brown cools off, Trent Frederick finds his touch a little bit more and things like that. So there's just so many reasons to be optimistic right now about this team, which is wild because 10 days ago they were down 2-0 to the LA Kings and the sky was falling.
Yeah, like Connor Brown had, 2 goals in 7 games, because 2 of them are empty net, but 2 goals on a goalie isn't like an outrageous number for him to keep up with here a little bit. But everybody, the only forward who doesn't have a goal yet is Podkolzin, which is, over a 7-game stretch, it's pretty rare to have all 12 of your forwards in the regular season score a goal. If you look at Edmonton into game 2 and the goaltending, like Calvin Pickard wasn't really called upon last night. That's obvious, right? And I've been saying it for years. The Oilers are not built for their goaltender to have to be done. Just play solid. And he's played solid. And, the coach kind of said, hey, at some point, Stuart Skinner's going to play. Do you think they need to get Skinner in the second round at some point just because he's been out so long? Or do you just ride Pickard until he has a really bad game?
I'm riding Pickard the whole way. Like, I just think the playoffs are such a game-by-game thing. And, like, as much as from an Oilers perspective, you feel great right now, if you lose game 2, all of a sudden your mindset's totally different, right? I think coming home, and I'm torn on this, but if, let's say, hypothetical, Calvin Pickard gets lit up in game 2, then yeah, game 3 is probably a very natural point to just go, okay, we're going to give the crease back to Stu. If he passes this test, we're in the driver's seat for this series, and it's Skinner's crease once again, and we're good. But there's also a part of me here who's going, listen, a 5-game winning streak, and I know he hasn't been called upon a ton, hasn't had to make a bunch of remarkable saves and, stop a bunch of breakaways, which, mind you, he did stop a couple big ones in towards the end of that LA series. But there is a part of me, as much as I can see the roadmap and I can understand the logic behind, like, if you lose game 2, go to Skinner in game 3 because you want to get him back in at some point. I also think, in fairness to Calvin Pickard, he's probably built up enough of a leash with these 5 games where, like, even if he had a stinker, I think there's a case to go back to him in game 3. So I'm torn on it. It would obviously be, in the context, like, it's not easy enough to just sit here and be like, if Pickard gives up more than 4 goals and they lose, you go to Skinner. Because if he gives up 4 goals on 44 shots and they lose, then I'm probably still going back to Pickard. So it's all in the context of how game 2 goes. There's a world where I can see it going back to Skinner, but honestly, I think Pickard deserves the benefit of the doubt here. I think he's built up enough of a leash where one stinker shouldn't have him riding the bench for the next game.
The defense, there's everybody's freaking out about pairs. I'm like, they don't really use pairs. Like, Nurse and Bouchard played 20 minutes last night, 5-on-5, but they only played like 9 together, and they played really well. Both of them did, as would Klingberg. Paul Coffey right now seems to have the magic mix on just rotating his defense pairs almost just, by feel. And, Kulak and Nurse and Bouchard and Wallman, and they're all just interacting, and it's playing very well for them.
Yeah, I'm always sitting there watching, like, so fascinated by who's coming over the boards in the D zones and the O zones. I don't know why, but I like paying attention to that. I can't figure out what the rhythm is here. I can't figure out what the logic is behind it. So I guess what you said, like, it's just a total feel thing here for Paul Coffey and that D core. But you're right, like, Nurse and Bouchard, they had some real tough moments at the end of that LA series, but to see them come together last night, not get scored on in 8:43 of 5-on-5 time. The shots were heavy in the Oilers' favor. Granted, you probably can't find a pairing where that wasn't the case, but yeah, I'm loving the way Coffey's handling it. I think Brett Kulak is up to his usual Brett Kulak stuff, where he's just quietly making really solid plays. So there's just no complaints right now. And I get some people are maybe looking at Ty Emberson's minutes and being like, okay, eventually do you consider a swap? He played 449 at 5-on-5 last game. Do you make a swap and just give Troy Stetcher a game so that if you ever did need him, he's not all that cold? But again, I haven't hated the penalty kill as of late, so I see no reason to pull out Emberson, even though he's not playing a ton at 5-on-5. Like, there's just no reason to mess with this winning formula, even if in the case of how they're rolling out the D, we don't really know what the formula is.
Quickly, your thoughts on Winnipeg and Dallas, because if the Oilers win, they'll play one of those two. Who do you like in that series and why?
Man, I mean, it's almost like a fool me one time, shame on you, fool me twice, shame on me. Coming into these playoffs, I was like, Connor Hellebuck's going to turn it around. He's going to prove that it's just those last two playoffs were just random cold stretches and he's an elite goalie. And then he was not good against the St. Louis Blues. And I'm reading all his quotes about how he feels like maybe he's rejuvenated and maybe he just wanted it too much in terms of coming out of the first round. And I'm like, okay, maybe I'm starting to believe in Connor Hellebuck again. And I'm calling myself a fool for it. But I just think an elite goalie like that is eventually due for a run where he starts playing like an elite goalie again. So I'm going to go ahead and say Connor Hellebuck backstops the Winnipeg Jets in this series. And the Robertson and the Heiskanen thing, that concerns me a little bit. But again, if you look at the superstars on both sides, one of them's a goalie. And if anyone can single-handedly steal a series or get close to it, you know what I mean? It's Hellebuck. And I think he's due to figure it out in the playoffs, and maybe getting through the first round was just that monkey off the bat, and now monkey off the back, and now he's just totally playing free. So I'll come out of left field a little bit and say Hellebuck and the Jets will win. It'll be tight though.
Oof. All right. We'll chat with you tomorrow on the rundown, my man. Have yourself a great day.
Sounds good. See you, Gregs.
That's Tyler Remchuk from Motors Nation and Daily Face Off. Hey, guys, think there's any chance Emberson gets taken out for Stetcher? Well, they really like Emberson on the penalty kill. And I like Ty Emberson's not playing a lot of minutes, but it really hasn't done anything to hurt you. So, no, I think they've won 5 games in a row. I definitely don't see any reason to change the lineup at that point. And, you'll probably run with it. And, Stetcher would be the first guy to tell you, does he want to play 100%? But, he gets it. You're in the playoffs. It's never about the individual. It's just about the team. And right now the team is rolling. There's no question about it. Hey, guys, what do you think Klingberg would cost on a contract extension? Oof. That's a good question, man. Now, remember, John's a guy who he had a massive deal on the table that he turned down and then, never made up that money. Right? Like it was 8 times 8. I think it was, or 8 times 7. And no. Then went to free agency and didn't get a deal. And then he's being banged up and, he's played well, but that's a really good question. I haven't put much thought into it because like the regular season, you're like, oh, good. But, a few playoff game series looked really good. But how much of you are concerned that, is he fully healed from his injury? I'm sure he might have to play another year deal, which I'm sure he won't love. Like someone might give him 2 years, but is he getting more than 3? I don't think so. But I could see how that could be like, hey man, he still made good money prior to that, but that's a pretty big matzo ball to walk away from for sure. Hey guys, everyone's getting excited and talk about the new additions to the Oilers lineup. Early in the year, fans were not confident about it. From Robert. Hey, Robert, things change, buddy. Now, I did try to tell people early in there, said, hey, now, I thought Jeff Skinner, I said in the summer, man, I thought he was going to be a great fit. Didn't really work out. There were some parts of his game, and I'm like, man, when I saw him, and I was like, hey, I get why the coach is taking him out. Some people disagreed, and that's great. If we all agree, it'd be boring. But I did start crunching the numbers, and people were like, wow, they miss Fogle, they miss Holloway, and they miss McLeod. And I said, okay, well, let's just look at goals. The goal production last year. Now, Holloway's 60 points. You might have missed this year's Holloway, but what about last year? That's what we're talking about. That's X to X. You replace the Holloway from last year. And Arvidsson, Podkolzin, and Skinner, when the season was over, had more goals combined, 2 more, not a lot, but still 2 more than Fogle, McLeod, and Holloway did. Now, obviously, this year we saw what Holloway did in St. Louis. Now, I can't say for certain he would have done that in Edmonton, but let's just say he only would have had 40 points. That still would have been an upgrade. I said in the summer I would have signed Holloway. Even to the offer sheet, I would have matched it. They didn't, so you move on. But when you make one decision, okay, you live with that decision, but then you make other moves. So they went out, they acquired Trent Frederick. And I was pretty pro Trent Frederick. A lot of people are like, oh my God, he's terrible. He hasn't played. And I get it. You're frustrated. You make an acquisition. You give up a second rounder. You're like, hey, we want to see the guy play. Then he plays 7 minutes and he can barely skate. And you're like, oh my God, this is terrible. Well, now things change. All of a sudden, you're like, I don't mind Trent Frederick. And that's okay. But like, we're allowed to change your analysis, right? You're allowed to say, you know what, geez, I used to not like this player, but I think the best analysis is say, well, geez, he's improved. He's better than I thought, rather than be like, no, I hate him. I'll always hate him. He's always terrible. I don't understand that. Like, you're allowed to change your analysis, but you can't say, I think a player's terrible, and then suddenly be like, oh, he's the best. Like, to me, but if you say, you know what, I don't think he's playing very well, that's valid. There's a difference. I've never liked the people who call a player, oh, he's terrible. No. You're not in the NHL and be terrible. It's impossible. You might make a series of terrible plays, but you're not a terrible player. I think there's two different things. We'll return. Well, you know what? We'll try to toughen up the show a bit. Next on The Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Legend has foretold of a smoothie so delicious and refreshing that it could quench the thirst of a fire-breathing dragon.
But it's also a great pick-me-up after a workout. The new Dragon Slaya smoothie from Booster Juice, a legendary blend of dragon fruit and mangoes, destined to be your next obsession. Try it today, along with the new Dragon Booster Ball and the Pink Dragon Booster Mixer.
3 epic menu items to conquer your cravings. Booster Juice, Canadian-born, blending since 1999.
It's playoff time, and we've got a lot to talk about. This is Andrew Walker on Edmonton Sports Leader, Sports 1440. Tune in after every playoff game for the Ridge Social Eatery postgame show. The Ridge is the new hotspot in St. Albert, and it's so good. Noodle, 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 noodle. Noodle, 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 noodle.
Throw the load down to Oodle Noodle tonight because dine-in is open.
It's Customer Appreciation Day at Vitality Health Foods. Take 25% off select products like Golax by Healthology for healthy digestion, Salus Milk Thistle Extract to protect your liver, and Healthology's Gut Effects. Customer Appreciation is the first Tuesday and Wednesday of each month. Visit Vitality Health Foods today.
Explore beyond the boundaries of capability and value during Truck Month at GMC. Right now, get 0% financing for up to 72 months on the 2025 Sierra 1500 Crew Cab Pro Graphite. With a TurboMax engine delivering 310 horsepower, GMC Pro safety features, including automatic emergency braking, plus a max towing of up to 9,500 pounds. You'll be ready for anything this truck month. Ask your GMC dealer for details.
Struggling to make ends meet? You're not alone. Many people are facing tough times and finding it hard to afford the essentials. I'm hearing from people experiencing this every day. My name is Parveen Middleton. As a licensed insolvency trustee at BDO in Edmonton, I'm here to help you take control of your finances with a solution made just for you. Call 1-833-BDO-TALK or visit bdodebt.ca to book your free consultation and discover your debt-free future.
First of this hour brought to you by Can Torque. We offer sale, rental, repair, and calibration of hydraulic, pneumatic, and battery-powered torque wrenches, stud tensioners, and flange maintenance equipment. Order today at cantorque.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
.348. Welcome back, Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Sports 1440, Oilers Nation, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. And hey, when we talk all sports on the show. Obviously, we talk a lot of hockey and playoffs. We get it, but as you know, I'm a big sports fan. Lots of different sports, and our next topic is one that's near and dear to my heart. I love sports when you know how hard they are, and you can't do it, even if you tried. And trust me, I tried. because my cousin Rod Warren was the all-around Canadian champ for many years. It was great. Could ride broncs, could rope, could do everything. And when we were kids, he had like an outdoor rodeo at his place, him and his brother Rick and their parents. And I was like 15, 16 the first time I rode a steer. And trust me, I've been around cows my whole life. I love it. But that was an eye-opener, man. And I was like, oh, I got to get way stronger. I thought my arm got ripped out of the socket the first time. And then you get on there. And like, I've been hit in hockey. Like I got bell rung a few times in hockey and ain't nothing. I'll tell you right now. You think, and even football, you get hit, you all of a sudden get on, and I was only on a steer. Then you go to the next level with the bull. I'm telling you, that is a jarring experience. And PBR Canada, of course, is in the Rose City of Camrose this weekend. And Gary McLean joins us from the Rose City Invitational PBR. Gary, welcome to the show. Thanks for coming in studio. How you doing?
Thanks for having us, Jason. I'm doing good.
So now, Gary, did you used to be a rider?
I rode bulls for 13 years. Yeah.
13 years.
13 years. Yeah.
Now but you obviously grew up on, did you do button musty up to steers?
Oh, I rode anything with hair on it when I was a kid, right? So, oh yeah, that's how it all begins, right?
So when you look back on it and, you got, what was the hardest part of bull riding?
A lot of it's probably the mental game of it. You can get inside your head real easy, right? But as far as that, you just kind of got to want to do it, right? I don't know how else to explain it.
Well, there's definitely, it's a fine combination of stupidity, fear, and bravery, all kind of mixed in.
Yeah, that's so to speak. But I look at it this way, Jason. Everybody likes to have that adrenaline rush.
Oh,
right?
God, yeah.
Whether you're a race car driver, a skydiver, or whatever you are, you crave that adrenaline, right? And that's kind of the same in bull riding.
Yeah, it is. It's a big one. So now you guys have, your event in Camrose, it goes this Saturday, and we're actually going to give away a few sets of tickets. Pretty much sold out, but we got a few tickets from Gare here to anybody who wants to go in Camrose on Saturday night, which is going to be a hell of an event. Let's, I guess, kind of talk about, because as much as this is about the bull riders, there's lots about the bulls, man. Like the bulls are bred to be, and raised to, and they're treated like they're treated pretty special. Trust me. Anybody, I know they think, oh yeah, like you're not hurting the bull. Like it's the guy who gets hurt. The bull's rarely getting hurt when you got the 160, 180 pound guy on his back.
That's correct. These bulls they're well taken care of. They're like family to most of these stock contractors. And we have 5 of the best contractors in Canada at our event. We have the defending Bull of the Year, Grand Funk of Kyle Larson's will be in attendance. And we also have the runner-up to Canadian Bull of the Year, Moonwalk by Lindsay Carlier. Okay. And so it's they're well taken care of. Some of these animals are worth a lot of money.
Oh, yeah.
They travel first class wherever they go. Let's just put it that way.
What leads a bull to, like, who votes on Bull of the Year? Is it all the riders?
The riders, the stock contractors amongst themselves, along with the committee members and whatnot. We all have a say in the Bulls of the Year, but mostly the bull riders.
And so how many contestants this weekend?
There'll be 30. We've got contestants from the top ones in Canada. The top ones, we've got a couple from the U.S. and a few from Brazil.
Oh, yeah. Brazilians are pretty good.
Oh, yeah. We got some good Brazilians. We've got the defending Rookie of the Year in PBR Canada, Gilmar Santana, will be there. Yeah, it'll be a great event.
And so they go, how many so all 30 are riding on Saturday, or is it a draw?
Yes.
How's it working?
No, all 30 will ride Saturday. And then if I remember correctly, I think the top 10 will come back for the short go. And there's $25,000 added money to the winner. So the winner will walk out with $25,000. And also I should mention, we have the Junior Bull event taking place too, Junior Bull riders up to the age of 16. So yeah.
Now, are they riding steers?
No, they'll be riding Junior Bulls.
Junior Bulls.
Yeah.
So so how old's the Junior Bull?
They're usually like 3-year-olds, or they're just starting to get into the bucking phase.
Yeah, but they're still pretty big.
Oh yeah, they're pretty good size.
So the size is there. It's just they haven't like how do you train the bucking bulls? Like I know lots of it's genetics, but how do you get them to buck better?
Well, we don't necessarily get them to buck. I mean, there's an old wives' tale goes around that we put this flank strap around their hind quarters that goes around their private parts to make them buck. Well, that is totally not the case. It's more of an irritant than anything, right? Just
Yes.
makes them want to buck it off is what it is. But as far as what makes them buck, they're born to buck. A lot of the genetics go back generations, right? They're born to buck. A lot of stock contractors will take the time to run them in and out of shoots, bring them to minor league events, just to get them accustomed to going in and out of the shoots, right? And that way they don't become so fighting, like aggressive in the shoots and hard to get out on, sort of thing, you know?
Oh, yeah. Gary McLean joins us from the Rose City Invitational. PBR goes in Camrose this Saturday. And so it's got basically, a lot of the top bull riders, lots of the top bulls. If you're a fan of a bulldogging, well, not bulldogging, that's steer wrestling. If you're a fan of bull riding, then you definitely want to be there. The junior bulls. So what time does the event start?
Starts at 7, gates open at 6. There'll be, usual PBR glitz and
Well, I
glamour.
was just going to say the show itself, because I remember the last one I saw in Edmonton, like it's a spectacle. It's not just, okay, we come on here, we put the bulls in the chute and everybody rides. Okay, you're done.
Yep.
Like it's a big event. The clowns are usually a huge part of the show. I like to call them the MCs.
Well, I'll tell you, Gregor, we got 3 of the best bullfighters in the country. We got Tanner Byrne, Ty Prescott, and Brett Monnier.
Oh, Byrne's coming. Okay.
Oh, yeah. And we also have Scott Byrne as our man in the barrel, as our entertainer. So former Canadian champion bullfighter.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So we've got the best of the best at this event. It's first class all the way. That's probably why we're runner-up 2 years running now, event of the year in Canada. So
how do you get to be the winner of the event in Canada? What separates you from number 1 to number 2?
Number 1 to number 2?
Yeah.
Stay on, man. Hang on tight and let her rip, potato chip.
Yeah. When you kind of get into this, because you have a bull riding background, so you understand it, but like the game has really evolved probably from when you rode until now, right? Like the science behind it, the training behind it, everything's changed. Like, what do you think? What makes the riders today better? I don't love that term better, just maybe more educated.
No, I'll agree with you, Gregor. They are better.
Okay.
My day, we didn't go to the gym. We went, got on our practice bulls and went to the bar right after, right? You know how it is. But these guys are genuine athletes nowadays. Like Coy, my partner, he hits the gym 5 nights a week, easy. These guys are athletes. They really are. And I don't know a single bull rider in the professional ranks that isn't that way. They're all athletes.
So when they're training now, and so most people out there have never ridden a bull. Maybe now you might have tried a mechanical bull at the bar, and that's great, but it's about 5% of what you'd feel like on a real bull, number 1. What are they training now to help them become better bull riders?
They do a lot of core work, like balance, a lot, especially on their core. They need a lot of leg strength, to keep hustling their feet forward when that bull's spinning, and whatnot. A lot of mental preparation goes involved too, a lot of positive thinking and stuff like that. You try to be as positive as you can, right?
So if I'm a rookie to the PBR event this Saturday, and I go there and I've got, which is the bull or the rider that you're like, hey, that's who you have to watch? Not necessarily saying they're the best. But
okay.
Which one? Who would you say, hey, rookies, this is our first timer, this is who you watch for?
You're going to watch Coy Robbins, Cody Kovarchuk, Ashton Sully. Those are probably Ashton, I should mention, is the only Canadian representative at the World Finals in a couple weeks in Fort Worth, Texas. And as far as bulls go, the defending Canadian Bull of the Year, Grand Funk, will be there. The runner-up to Bull of the Year, Moonwalk, will be there. And a whole host of great bulls, like the best of the best are there, Gregor.
Well, buddy, I'm looking forward to it. Unfortunately, I'll be working on Saturday night. Can't make it. But for those who can, have a great time. I love PBR, man. I love rodeo. Grew up going to it as a kid. And bull riding's always been the one to watch. It's a marquee event. And just because there's so much uncertainty on what can happen on every ride. So it's awesome stuff. Gary, thanks so much for coming in. And we'll have a giveaway for some tickets on the show and some people who want to go down and see some great bull riding Saturday in Camrose. And if they want to get, what's the best way to get tickets? Because I know you said there's a few left. What's the best way?
You can go on the Rose City Invitational website, and there's a link to, I forget the name of the company we sell our tickets to. But yeah, there's select tickets available left for the event. But yeah, they're going fast. So if you want to get on board with some tickets, it's best to get on it right away.
Yeah, it's very easy. I just Google Rose City Invitational, and then it'll take you right to the PBR Canada website, and you can get the tickets right there. So super easy. Awesome stuff, Gary. Thanks so much, man. Have a great day.
Thank you very much, Jason. Appreciate it.
Awesome. That's Gary McLean. When we return, business of sport. We're going to talk stick calibration and lots more on attacking, scoring. We talked about the goaltending last week. I think you're going to like this interview coming up with myself, Rich, and Jeff. But let's first get to the Conman Sports 1440 update brought to you by Booster Juice. Man, I lost my line. We just got a new one that they're taking flight with the legendary new Dragon Fruit lineup, introducing the Dragon Slayer Smoothie, Pink Dragon Booster Mixer, and the Dragon Booster Ball. Conquer your cravings by stopping in at Booster Juice today.
The Sports 1440 update.
2 games in the Stanley Cup playoffs. At 5, got the Maple Leafs and the Panthers. A meeting in Toronto. Leafs up 1-0 in that series. And at 7:30, Jets Stars kicking off their series out in Winnipeg in the association. You got the Knicks and Celtics going at it just after 5 o'clock. New York up 1-0 in the series. Then at 7:30, the Thunder trying to even up their series with the Nuggets out in OKC. Major League Baseball, Jays in action, taking on the Angels once again just after 7:30. Right now, the Mets lead the Diamondbacks 4-1 in the 8th. And the Athletics up on the Mariners 5-4. PWHL action tonight. 1 game on the schedule. Minnesota in Toronto. That'll get going at 5. Coming up in hour 3 of the Jason Gregor Show. It is another edition of the Business of Sport. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440, Stingray Radio Station. CKJR broadcasts from West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin.
Download the free Stingray music app and listen wherever you go.
Actions speak louder than words. Japa Machinery Group puts your construction plan into action with XCMG construction machinery you need. Available for rental or sale. Learn more at japamachinery.com.
Day or night, tasting just so right. You can order Oodle Noodle at oodlenoodle.ca, delivering you the news almost right. Remember, you can order Oodle Noodle at oodlenoodle.ca. So stay on your couch all day and order oodlenoodle.ca. Oodle Noodle.
At Fountain Tire, we're all about one thing: taking care of your vehicle. Oh, and your wallet. I guess that's 2 things. Save up.
I don't know if you
select tires.
Don, did you see the
Fountain Tire? We're on this road together.
Work hard, get dirty, build better communities. If that sounds like a good day's work
Jason
to you,
Gregor,
GS
Connor Halley,
Construction wants you to be part of
1440.
their team. Right now, GS
Nation.
Construction is looking to hire experienced top men and pipe layers for
Connor
underground
Halley,
sewer and
Sports
water
14.
work. So if you know your way around a trench, take pride in doing the job right, and want to be part of a crew that has your back, let's get to work together. Apply now at gsconstruction.ca.
You've got a go-to coffee spot, a trusted barber, even a lucky game day jersey. But when it's about looking your absolute best, there's only one name you need: Mr. Dirk. Family run since 1939, we're experts in crafting impeccable tailor-made suits and offering a wide variety of everyday styles. Pair that with personalized one-on-one fittings and the convenience of on-site tailoring. Mr. Dirk elevates your style game. Visit our Edmonton store or explore MrDirk.com. Score big on style with Mr. Dirk.
It's Customer Appreciation Day at Vitality Health Foods. Take 25% off select products like Golax by Healthology for healthy digestion, Salus Milk Thistle Extract to protect your liver, and Healthology's Gut Effects. Customer Appreciation is the first Tuesday and Wednesday of each month. Visit Vitality Health Foods today.
Garage Superstore by Premier Built Garages is the ultimate destination for everything garage. Storage solutions and cabinets? Garage Superstore has it. Vehicle hoists? Got those too. Durable polyaspartic floor coatings? You bet. From mess to masterpiece, one garage at a time. And when it's time to eat, Traeger Grills brings the heat with wood-fired flavor that can't be beat. Need it? They've got it at Garage Superstore by Premier Built Garages. Visit their massive 8,000 square foot showroom at Calgary Trail and 34th or garagesuperstore.ca.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Leading Edge Physio. The team in Old Strathcona has special training dedicated to reducing the impact of cancer care before, during, and after your diagnosis, from lymphedema to the management of fatigue and side effects of chemotherapy and radiation, they can help. Learn more at leadingedgephysio.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Back the Wednesday edition of the Jason Gregor Show, Sports 1440, Orders Nation, YouTube, Facebook, X, Instagram, sports1440.ca. As always, the Gregor Show presented by our title sponsor, PlayAlberta.ca, where you can get in the game, use the promo code Gregor100. And for all of you who went on the orders yesterday, you'll be liking it. Can they go 2-0 tomorrow? Check it out at PlayAlberta.ca. Now, very special guest. Of course, it's the business of sport, and we're going to get right into it. Rich Winter, of course, is back. Rich, how you doing, my man?
Good. Busy couple of days traveling, but nice to be home.
Awesome. Now, let's get to our big guest of the day, brought to you by Silent Rides Charter Company, one of Alberta's premier bus charter companies with state-of-the-art motor coaches that will safely take you or your group to their next destination. That's silentrides.ca. Book your ride today. We talked lots of goaltending last week in the business of sport. Today, we're going to talk about stick calibration, a little bit of offensive and defensive strategy as well with one of the co-founders and is the CEO now of ClearSight Analytics. John Healy joins us. John, welcome to the show. How you doing?
Doing great, Jason. Thanks for having me.
Hey, man, I appreciate you coming in. And, we had Steve on, the goalie, so I'd like to get on. Stick calibration to me is a fantastic topic that I'm stunned, to be honest, how little it's used, even at the highest level, never mind minor sports, but even let's start there and we'll kind of maybe work our way down with NHL players and kind of take us through what would a basic stick calibration process look like for an NHL player?
Sure. So it would start with working with the player, watching some of his games, his shifts, kind of look to see some of his tendencies, right? But it all comes down to movement. What is causing delay in their movement? Any delay that we're causing is going to be negative, right? If we know that we're trying to beat goalies because once they have clear sight of the puck for half of a second, well, then we don't want to allow that to happen. So the longer we hold the puck, the longer we have to shift. I contort my shoulders. I can't touch the puck cleanly enough out in front of my body. Now, all of a sudden, we're giving that goalie more and more time to see the puck and then, upping his chances to save the puck. That's with the shots, but that's only a small piece of the game.
Right.
How often does a defenseman go back for a puck retrieval?
Yeah.
So if he's getting too close to the boards, if he's compromising his eyes, the longer it takes him to be able to see his teammates, singular, plural, plus all the defenders, the less likely he is to be successful at making the plays available. Regroups. How and when do defensemen catch the puck in and around their body, and how quickly are they able to get their eyes up to see the forecheck pressure, play 1, play 2, play 3, what's the best play available? And a lot of times those plays, the best play available, aren't even being seen by the player. If their stick doesn't fit, they're adding to that, right? We already have a number of things in our game that cause delay. Spin of puck, bouncing puck, tough ice, opponents closing on you, taking away time and space. Why do we want to then add another element to make it more challenging for us? That's how I look.
And the problem, John, is too, isn't it like most plays, you and I talk a lot about high danger chances, which last on average, I think Steve told me about 3/4 of a second in the NHL are available. And I'm sure other plays are similar. So, it's really important for players to understand. My pitch to players to look at this and do this is, look, if you have a half-second delay and a play's only available for 3/4 of a second, your stick, and I believe this, I don't know what your thoughts are, John, might be the difference between playing the AHL and the NHL.
Oh, without a doubt. Like, no question in my mind. You still have to be a good enough hockey player. Like, we can't take a player who argumentatively wouldn't have made the East Coast League, right, and change his stick and put him in the NHL. But it should be about getting to your ceiling. How close can we get you to your ceiling based on your aptitude, your athleticism? And again, the more inefficiencies we can remove from your game, the better you're going to be as a player. And
the example I use, John, all the time is if the stick's a little long, for example, and you're a defenseman, you go into the wall. Now you're making a subtle adjustment up to get the puck because your stick's too long. Now, by the time you get it off the wall and set to make the play, that by itself might eliminate the play, right?
Correct.
And so when you look, John, at a lot of players, when you say somebody who's never been fitted, now they're in the NHL. Obviously, they're a very skilled player to get there. And when they come in, because a lot of them is like, what's your flex? What's your lie? What's your length? Right? Like those seem to be kind of the three basic ones. Now, a little bit of, you have a heel curve, you have a toe curve, stuff like that. But what's maybe the most overlooked factor by players when it comes to their stick?
I would say in order, length, flex, lie. So most often, general rule of thumb is guys end up shortening their stick, dropping flex, and then if you have to cut it enough, you definitely have to fix your lie and adjust accordingly.
Right.
If you cut it enough, you're going to have to adjust your flex accordingly because now all of a sudden you feel like you're losing velocity. But I think velocity is the number one thing players look for and feel for when they're shooting and testing their sticks, when in reality, it's really not that important of a factor. It's the time it takes you to release the puck that is much more valuable than the velocity of the puck. Like I looked at a player last year, I flipped to Toronto, and we were cutting his stick. And once we cut it to a certain point, now the flex feels a little bit weird. It feels stiff. It feels boardy. You're not ripping it, to his term, as hard as he would like to. Feel like the velocity is down, which is accurate. But I said, well, let's look at your last 3 seasons. You take 76 clear-sighted shots, and you beat a goalie once. Okay. Is the velocity of your shot truly something that is that important to you? Or how many times are we getting pucks in and around the slot area where you're not able to release it for a quick 2-touch or a one-timer and then elevate that puck over the goalie, where the one goal you're focused on is actually costing you 7 to 10 on the other end?
Wow, that's a stunning number. 1 out of 76 clear
And that's
sight.
league average. That wasn't an anomaly for this player.
Really? So most guys, because I've always looked at, I know Stephen Valiquette talked to it last week, and because I've always felt a player comes in, he's the rare time you have time and space and you fire one in the goalie's chest and everyone's like, oh, good save by the goalie. I'm like, no, it wasn't. He's just standing there, just hit him. And so lots of times, so when a player's not hitting their spot when they have time, because in warm-up, they seem to go bar down all the time, right? But they're probably not, you're not straining as much. So when you say, okay, I might lose velocity a bit, right? Like, I don't know if we're talking, a half a mile an hour, whatever it is, I don't know. But if you can hit your spot more, that in itself will become more valuable. So what allows then for players, because everybody's different, right? Is there an average that you've like a standard 6'1" player, 190 pounds? How much different will their sticks look like, even though all 3 guys are 6'1", 190? Is it depending on how they skate? Like what goes into all these sorts of things?
Correct. First thing is how are you in your natural posture? Guys' legs fall differently off their hips. So Jack Eichel looks very different skater than Connor McDavid, than Nathan McKinnon, right? They're all good skaters by definition, but they all skate very differently. Patrick Kane and Nikita Kucherov are much more upright.
Right.
So they could play with a little bit of a higher lie and a little bit of a longer stick. McKinnon's much more hunched over. Pasternak, some of these guys, Braden Point. So they would play with probably a shorter stick and a lower lie.
And does it matter when you talk to players, like if a guy's like, well, I'm more of a passer than I am a shooter, should that impact their stick at all?
I mean, in a way, not as much as people think. So if you're missing the net, especially now, I know you mentioned youth hockey players. I don't want to dive down.
We'll get into that. Yeah, we'll get into them because I think it's a big.
But basically, to tweak your curve, but they should all be somewhere within a family of a toe curve, because the toe adds a massive advantage to all types of plays in the wall play and to killing spin early. And spin adds delay. So we want to be able to eliminate spin, eliminate delay. And so if you've got to look down and pluck that puck off the wall and adjust your hands and adjust your elbow and drive your shoulder up, you're adding delay. If I can do that with keeping my hands, I don't know if you can see me very well, but in front of my chest, and I can just use the toe of the stick to pluck that puck off, and then I can go D to D, or I can protect myself from contact, which is really what we should be talking about. How do I absorb contact safely so we can play all 82? that's as important as like executing one additional pass. So I think all factors should be in play. And that's why we like to see of like, well, what is this player's play style and where should our starting focus be? But really more, and if I was going to get on the ice with you, are we going to start with shooting versus passing, or really puck placement off of handles?
John Healy joins us from Clearsight Analytics, one of their co-founders, and we're talking about stick calibration. And we're starting at the high levels, but we are going to get into minor hockey because I think obviously it's a major issue at the younger levels as well, and maybe not as much as I think, but we'll see. So, John, when you bring in a player and you talk, hey, you had 1 out of 76 shots that were clear, and you hit it. So, what alterations did you make, And so, because you're talking about, you just want to be able, I think it's probably never been discussed, to be honest. I've never heard anyone say when we're talking about stick calibration that you want to limit the delay, but it makes tons of sense. Yeah. So, it's funny. It's the first time I've heard about it, to be bluntly honest with you, John. So I always love learning new things. And that's something that, hey, it helps our delay, because if I know that, guys have talked about, well, my stick's too long, it gets caught up sometimes in my stomach, I'm reaching, but that really forces you out of a natural position to pass or shoot the puck. And now that's a half a second.
But it also, Jason, opens you to injury potentially, because your body's not in a position to absorb the force, which the body naturally is very well equipped to do. But like John says, you get your shoulder up because your stick's constantly too long and you're constantly in the wrong position. When you get plowed into the boards, look out shoulder, right, John?
Correct. So I would say what I've learned, Jason, I've tried to surround myself with other people who are smarter than I am in other areas of this game, working with some trainers. We call it top hand syndrome in hockey, where because you're in an unnatural position and the further your top hand, I'm a lefty, so my right hand drives up, the more this gets overdeveloped, in which case now your left trap becomes underdeveloped, and then your rib cage gets contorted. And so now you're more susceptible to injuries over contact. And I don't want to be the coach sitting there telling the defenseman, well, we're not going to go retrieve this puck because you've already taken too many hits today. Like, that's not an option, right? Yeah. We want to go retrieve the puck safely, and you're going to put yourself into harm's way as safely as possible.
Makes sense. What about play like a Leon Draisaitl? He's got one of the most unique sticks in the NHL. It's straight. He's got an extra high blade. He's probably the best passer on his backhand in the game, and one of the best shooters, despite having a traditional shooter stick. When you look at Draisaitl's stick, what impresses you about it? Why do you think that thing has success? And should more guys be looking at incorporating a paddle into their stick use?
So for the max blade height, I've had players go different ways. Some guys love it. Defensemen tend to like it because they feel like they have a little bit of a better luck killing spin and getting pucks on the boards, or keeping pucks into the blue line. A lot of centermen tend to like it because you just have more surface area for that drop and the chances of being successful and getting surface area to puck to win.
Okay.
Some stick companies make it a little bit taller than others, and it just feels slow when you puck handle across your body, or we call it like a snatch motion. If you picture like Austin Matthews coming down, handles the puck, he kind of snatches it across his body and holds it out in the toe. They feel like that can be a little bit slow or clunky. I think some of it can be unique to feel for the players. Like you talked about flex, lie, curve. What we didn't really talk about, and I think it's kind of more dealer's choice, is kick point.
Right.
I think some of that is based on how you catch passes and what would make sense for you. I think different tweaks with the blade can work. I've never seen Leon's curve in person or been on the ice with it. I would say it's more of an anomaly, just seeing pictures of it and how he uses it.
Yeah.
But he's also an anomaly of a player in a more unique way than we're used to seeing. Because we've got guys who are anomalies in the fast twitch world. McDavid and McKinnon might be the two worst players to use for youth hockey coaches as examples, because unless your kid's got more fast twitch and that ability to move so much faster than everybody else on the ice, things that they do are not necessarily repeatable.
Right.
Leon is not really by definition a great skater, but he's able to think the game and move in a way that he can maneuver the puck in a very special way and put himself into areas to create scoring chances.
And he's strong enough to protect it more effectively than a lot of other players.
Correct.
Yeah.
So
John, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, I will talk about it from a youth hockey perspective. Then I want to talk about, as much as you look at the sticks, we talked a lot about goalie strategies and stuff, but we're going to talk about some offensive and defensive strategies coming up later on today here in the Business of Sports. Jason Gregor, Rich Winter, with our guest, John Healey from ClearSight Analytics. We'll return on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Legend has foretold of a smoothie so delicious and refreshing that it could quench the thirst of a fire-breathing dragon.
But it's also a great pick-me-up after a workout. The new Dragon Slayer smoothie from Booster Juice, a legendary blend of dragon fruit and mangoes, destined to be your next obsession. Try it today, along with the new Dragon Booster Ball and the Pink Dragon Booster Mixer.
3 epic menu items to conquer your cravings. Booster Juice, Canadian-born, relenting since 1999.
Hold on to your hockey helmet, Edmonton. On the Rocks is serving up 60-cent wings that fly off the plate faster than a slap shot. And Molson Canadians for $5.25. OTR's TVs, hey, they're so clear you'll see the puck better than the ref. That ain't hard, is it? And every game night during Edmonton's playoff run, specials start 30 minutes before puck drop and last for the whole game. Be a part of the legend. See the menu at ontherocksyeg.com.
Experience Edmonton Stingers Pro Basketball. Join the Stingers at their home opener Sunday, May 11th at 4 p.m. It's the most affordable, family-friendly, fun sports experience in the city. Tickets start at just $20. thestingers.ca.
It's Customer Appreciation Day at Vitality Health Foods. Take 25% off select products like Golax by Healthology for healthy digestion, Salus milk thistle extract to protect your liver, and Healthology's gut effects. Customer Appreciation is the first Tuesday and Wednesday of each month. Visit Vitality Health Foods today.
The Bricks tent sale is on now. With so many items to clear out, they've had to set up tents in the parking lot. Save up to 60% off clearance items in the tent and store. With new specials every day and a bonus gift with furniture purchases over $9.99, these offers won't last long. Save up to 50% off select mattresses, up to 25% off bedroom and dining furniture, and the more you buy, the more you save. Up to an extra $1,000 off appliances. Some exclusions apply. See in store for detail. The Brick, saving you more.
When St. Albert Dodge gets a deal, you get a deal. That's how it works. And right now, they've made a special purchase of new 2024 Ram heavy-duty 2500 and 3500 model trucks. These are Cummins diesel models with an exclusive offer that you can only get at St. Albert Dodge. What's the deal? A no-charge Cummins engine option, which works out to $9,450 in savings for you. Over 35 available. Get yours now and see how easy it is to do business at St. Albert Dodge.
Dang. Last season, you bought new clubs to fix your game. You spent the entire season trying to learn how to hit with your magic clubs. And guess what? Dang. They didn't help your game. Now you're convinced it's your swing, but it really is your clubs. Even though you were told the ones you bought were the best ever made, if they were, you would have gotten better. Every day at Fitted Golf, we continue to prove the right clubs make all the difference in the world. From beginners to pros, Fitted Golf makes all the difference. Yes, fittedgolf.ca.
Diablo Boots sells only Canadian-made work and biker boots made by Canada West. No American or boots made in China, so no tariffs. All of Diablo's boots have replaceable soles and heels for longer life. Sizes 6 to 14 EEE. Buy quality, buy Canadian. And support Canada West and Diablo, the two best names in the boot business. So save on boots by Save On Foods. That's Diablo Boots, 3340 Gateway Boulevard on the east side of Save On Foods. Buy Canadian. They're terrific.
Portions of this hour brought to you by On the Rocks. Watch every Oilers game at OTR with $5.25 Molson Canadian, $5 Pink Whitney shots, and 60-cent wings. Plus, play Oilers score and win for your chance to win On the Rocks gift cards. Oilers hockey at OTR. Book your table today. Jasper Ave and 118th.
Hat-tricks, touchdowns, and home runs. Get it all with the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
You on Wednesday edition of the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca. It's the business of sport with NHL player agent Rich Winter and our guest today, John Healey, the co-founder of ClearSight Analytics. We're talking about stick calibration. We're going to morph into some offense. But, John, we opened up, talked about stick calibration and you know, the importance to want to reduce delay. But how much of an uphill battle is this when you consider so many, and these are NHL players, the best players in the world, they'll go and get their golf clubs fitted, and many of them have never really had their stick properly fitted. Why is that?
I think it's a lack of information. And it's kind of like the Kool-Aid man, who's going to be the first through the wall. Like I think there's some guys like out in Winnipeg where there's some more guys who had maybe worked with Adam years ago, or probably still continue to work with him, who have been more, used to that conversation. So there's a few more guys in that locker room. And that's just the one I can speak to because I've got, one of Rich's guys is out there. And so I think it's fascinating that I talk to around the gym up here. You talk to kids in college and you say, you ever even thought about this? Like, no, this is a stick I used when I was in the USHL or playing junior or whatever. Or that's the old adage. I broke my stick. I borrowed so-and-so's. I had 3 goals over the weekend. So here we go. Like, never changed it. It's the same idea. Why do you have the skates you have? Because I've used them since Pee-wee. I don't know. Like I've always been a Bauer guy or whatever. There's not a lot of thought into it. And I think because again, if you're playing in the highest league in the world, you've been so competitive and you've worked on your game so much that there isn't a higher level to get to in the league stance. So either you're content or you don't want to do something that could potentially negatively impact it without understanding, all of the guys on tour for the PGA Tour are constantly getting their clubs tweaked, right? What else can be a little bit better? How can I change the lie of my 7-iron to make it a little more consistent, right? And to bring some information to them and say, well, let's go try some things. I'm not going to tell you have to, but I would suggest you at least look at this. I think when you present it that way, more and more of them are more open-minded than we originally thought 10 years ago when we started ClearSight,
Right.
And one of our players, without naming him, John, he cut a young defenseman. He cut off an inch and a half off his stick this year?
Yeah. So we had, we met last year and he cut, I told him not to. I said, wait till we skate in the summer. And he did anyways. The next morning, he cut 1/2 inch off his stick. And then he was down in the American League, had 2 games, 3 points, and they called him right back up and played the rest of the season up with a big club. Then we worked over the summer, come back this year, a little bit of up and down, decides, you know what, now he's more aware and in tune of this. Let me cut it again. Same idea, called back up, and then has an unbelievable 20-game finish this season.
When he cut his stick and you guys watched film, what did you notice as the biggest areas of improvement for him specifically?
So we could actually show some videos if we're okay with that, Rich.
Sure.
But really for him, defensemen, to make it in the NHL, it's the game below the dots in their defensive zone and be able to cleanly make plays in tight areas while absorbing body contact.
Right.
There's such little time and space. Now, he's an unbelievable skater, but you can't use your unbelievable skating ability in a 7-foot area, or can you? If you're coming up out of your posture, it's really hard to. So how do we get that instant early leverage, much more of like a basketball situation, more like a box out situation, but then be able to take contact with somebody who might be bigger than you, trying to put you into the glass while you can keep your hands on the puck and then make a little 5-foot pass to your teammate.
And am I right when I say Cale McClar is one of the guys who uses a much shorter stick than most?
He does.
Oh, yes. You see it when he skates. Like his is very short. And now he's hunched over, right? So certain guys can do it. So it depends on your style of play. And I remember Adam Oates Teddy Purcell actually cut off 4 inches of his stick during the season once because he was just having all sorts of trouble. He cut it down that much. And I remember having an interview with Teddy on our show talking about just, it was awkward at first, but he couldn't believe how easy, because every time the puck was close to him, he was bunched up and, he's almost arching his back up to try to get his feet. All of a sudden his stick's lower. Now he can just move his hands. He's not moving, as you alluded to earlier in the interview, John, about his shoulders and his traps. And he had good hands, but he ended up having way better hands. And he wasn't the best skater. So it actually saved him, probably kept him in the league for a few extra years because while he lost speed, he didn't lose time making plays.
Well, John and I have this problem with players all the time. I've asked every new player that I've begun working with if they've calibrated the stick, and only one guy in 25 years said, oh yeah, I actually had some engineers look at it in Slovakia, and I actually use a stick that's 1/8 of an inch shorter in the second period than in the first, and 1/8 of an inch shorter in the third than the second. And I said to him, when he said 1/8 of an inch, I said, well, is that noticeable? Oh, he just jumped in. Yeah, it's unbelievable. And that's why Marian Hossa is a great player, because his attention to detail is off the charts. And John, maybe you could explain. Marian didn't really have a good explanation other than I get a little tired, so I think my body, creeps a bit. So I feel better. It might be psychological, but can that make a difference?
Yeah, I mean, without a doubt. Anyone listening, go cut a stick half an inch, puck handle with your original stick, and then grab the shorter one, and then try going back to the longer one 5 minutes later. It'll feel like it's a foot taller. It's unbelievable how uncomfortable you feel.
Really interesting.
Another thing that you can do is just look at the wear pattern on the bottom of your blade at the end of a practice. If it's really far at the toe or the middle or the heel, and it's not kind of evenly worn, then you've probably got a length and probably a lie issue.
Right. And John, that's kind of what was the next one I wanted to get into. So, obviously, parents listening, players listening are like, hey, how can I check my stick? And I see kids go into the store, right? First of all, they're getting their stick measured here. But yeah, they just measure to their chin. But a lot of times they're doing it without their skates on, which I'm like, well, now you're buying a stick in your shoes and you'll stand on your tippy toes. Okay. That's the height of my stick, right? Like I know it's wild. That's what we used to do. So if you were if a city like, I don't even know if anybody in Edmonton properly knows how to calibrate sticks. I've never heard of one. Maybe someone is out there. You can let us know. Text us 833-401-1440. But
text me.
Yeah. So what would be like, what are some of the most basic things parents can help out with their son or daughter to go to? Like, I'm assuming if you're going to go buy a stick, bring your skates. All right, and stand on your skates. Would that be the number one thing to do? And then get in a hockey stance? Like, what do we do?
Yeah, so you should want to get into an athletic hockey stance. Obviously, if you've got some type of ice, that's going to be better. We have a couple stores around here. Bauer put in like a little synthetic rink so you can actually get on there and shoot, which is super helpful. Not everyone's got access to that.
Right.
But what you'll notice, I'm just going to turn my chair here, is that most guys get so far back this way. Their elbow drives them so.
It's almost like for anybody listening on radio, it's like their elbows up at a 90 degree, and you don't want it 90.
No, we want to be able to play with our hands in front of our body.
Okay,
and it's a massive thing that's not taught properly, and we could go down a 4-hour rabbit hole into player development and off ice training and how it does way more harm than good. We'll save that for another day if you want to go down that. But the stick is the only piece of equipment other than your skates that touches the ice, right? So it is the most important thing that we've got, and the skates are right there with it.
Well, and some parents, Jason, are going to have a problem with this because John just mentioned one way to do it is cut a stick off, try it back at $200 a piece. They're going to have some trouble with that. But I was just thinking, and I never gave this much thought before, maybe they got to go out and buy that wooden, inexpensive stick and try something, right? Cut off a half an inch, cut off an inch and a half.
Well, sorry to interrupt you, Rich. They could even use the stick that they were using at the end of last season or whatever, right? Because kids are going through growth spurts constantly.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
So go there, grab a stick that even feels too short and play with it a little bit, go out 5 minutes of practice or open hockey or whatever other opportunities you guys have for ice and just see. It's going to feel a little weird, but then just try some tight turns to your forehand and backhand.
Maybe John, you just try, you're a 5'7" player and you got 2 5'3s on your team. Maybe just, sort of see if you can borrow one of their sticks for practice.
That's actually what a lot of the pros guys end up doing in season because you can't get sticks right away a lot of times.
Do you find, John, when you watch, do most minor hockey players, are their sticks too long? Correct. On average?
Yeah, I would say on average, it's getting better every year, I will say. I spend less time in the youth rinks than I used to. Where I would say probably 7 years ago. How long have we known each other, Rich? Maybe 7-8 years. It's been a while.
Yeah.
I would say when I first met Rich 7 years ago, I would say 98% of kids used a stick that was incredibly wrong, like not even close. And most of those were too long, too stiff with a bad curve. I would say now it's probably closer to like 75%, 65%. You see more and more of the kids at the high level, like in major junior, the national program, the USHL, more of those kids have been a little bit more in tune with some of it, at least from a length perspective.
Yeah.
But I would say on the average, everyone's is too long for the most part.
Too long.
Yeah.
And,
too long.
And so like, does flex matter? Like obviously until you're strong enough to flex the stick, U9, U11, it's probably not as much of a factor. What about the lie? Because we have lots of people text and, I've had texts before about the lie. How can they know, like, to get a proper lie? Like, how can they even tell, okay, you know what? Because some kids, and I get it, they want to use a certain stick because it's red. That's their favorite color, right? Or their favorite player uses that stick. I get it. So, but how can you as parents be more informed to even know what the lie is supposed to be to help their kid at least, have a shot at being close with the type of proper stick?
Sure. I mean, the lie is the toughest one, like scientifically, if you want to say it that way, to measure, because you really have to get into the custom stick to change it.
Okay.
Luckily, I was just, Bauer treats me very well. So I was on their website, and it looks like they used to be a lot of lie 6s by default. They've dropped it to lie 5. Again, you talk about driving your elbow up. Every lie goes up, 5, 6, 7.
Okay. So there's a lot of people don't even know what lie is. So basically the higher the number the lie is, your hand's probably going to be going back high, because
correct.
Is it less or more of the blade on the ice?
Less.
Okay.
Basically, yeah, you've got to get your hands higher to get the blade.
Right.
So if you go up and just Google like any old like Bob Orr photos, he was probably using a lie 0. Like the thing, like he could have his hands at his belly button and the whole blade was flat on the ice.
Well, is there any measure, John, where you can say, at least we can't do it scientifically, but when you're using your stick, should your upper hand be by your navel under your rib cage?
You should be able to play with your hands in front of your chest. That should be a reality where you can handle the puck comfortably.
Right. Where would your upper hand be roughly in that situation?
I would say between like your sternum and your belly button.
Sternum and your belly. Now, what about some kids maybe whose sticks are too short? Right? How do you know? Is it just because they're hunched over too much? Like, what is that too obvious?
It gets into a problem where most kids' posture is really, really poor. A lot of them go to training things that sound, well, okay, we're going to do a lot of quad dominant exercises. They don't do enough hamstring exercises. So they can't get into that proper, what we'll call Sidney Crosby posture, right?
Okay.
They physically can't get down. So it's not even that they're hunched over in a low way like Sid. They're literally leaning over because they can't stay in posture. And that's not the length of the stick at that point. It's not really going to matter. There's enough issues there. I would say, I honestly can't think of an instance where we've had to lengthen a kid's stick.
Really? Okay. All right.
And
So
aside from kids, I would say that have worked with me that have grown, and then they come in, we're like, well, okay, we have to go buy a new stick. Where should we be at? Right.
Right. Yeah. That makes sense. You outgrow your stick, but rarely. So you should err on the side of, and I know some people are like, well, my kid's not going to like it. It's shorter. Well, somebody in the neighborhood shoots right or left. It doesn't really matter the lie. Originally, it's more so the length to get used to being comfortable with that stick, and err on the side of shorter than longer is what I'm.
And I would think, John, there's some element of where your hand position is comfortable, like you say, between your sternum and your belly button. Is the stick flush with the ice at that point, right?
That's the idea, right? So that's why you look at the wear pattern, and like I said, like you could take Kucherov and you could take McKinnon, and they would have very different ways of holding their stick in relation to their body.
Yeah.
Is there tape that you can put on the bottom of your stick to run up the entire blade, John? So after practice, that would show me exactly where your son or daughter, even as a coach, where some of your players' sticks are wearing more than they should be, or not enough.
Just tape the stick normally with a fresh tape job at the beginning of the skate, and then don't let them untape it until you come out and look at it. You'll see wear marks.
Okay.
It's visible. Like if we were doing any kind of puck handling, you'll see visible wear marks. Like tape can start to rip off the bottom after one skate.
And it should be wearing pretty evenly, basically.
Pretty evenly if it was exactly.
Now, even though they always say you should receive more passes on, like near the heel rather than the toe, would that impact anything at all or not?
Same idea. Like, so if it's a well-run practice, you should have, if all you're doing is receiving passes, then the heel should have a bigger wear mark than the toe. But if you did, passing and shooting on both your backhand and your forehand, and you were doing some kind of like tight turns where you're handling the puck in tight areas, the blade should have pretty even wear marks. There's always going to be some variance. So you don't want to say black and white. Oh, little Johnny's stick is only wearing at the toe. We need to make it longer, change the lie. But as a rule of thumb, it's a good starting point.
John Healy joins us from Clearsight Analytics. So, John, one last one. Well, for the last segment, I do want to talk about kind of, some offensive strategies on scoring, because I think it's always key. And I know you focus a lot on that when you're, Steven looks at a lot of the goalie numbers. You look at a lot of the shooter numbers. So we'll get a long way better. Looking from like the curve really, because you go to the store now, and you're obviously, most of us, it's unless you're going to get you're going to order specialized stick, which is pretty rare and probably way too costly for 9 to 15-year-olds. How much does the curve ultimately matter? And like whether some have like an upshoot, a heel curve, what should be looking for, and how can you know, other than just feel like, oh, I think it feels good. How can you know if a kid's going to maximize their skill with the curve of their stick?
Oh, it's a great question. I would say I've tested everything that's been available to me in the market. I think every kid should be in a P28 at least to start.
Okay.
That's what Bauer calls it. I think CCM calls it I'm pretty sure they all call it a P28, or they might call it like a C28.
No, P28 I've seen most of them.
It's a pretty standard one. It's a stock. You don't have to go get a custom one. With the pro guys, we usually work off of that pattern. So start with a P28, and then if you want something with a little less openness at the toe, we can tweak it to this. If you want something that's a little flatter, longer in the blade, we tweak it to this. That becomes very costly for a family to do for minimal effects in the minor hockey world.
Right.
The reason I also like the P28 is it's got a dual eye. So you go back to receiving passes on your heel. You can hold your hands a little bit lower so that you catch it more on the heel.
Yes.
As you go to shoot it, you turn the blade over, and now it's got a lie 6, so your hands can come up and over. Now you can execute we'll call it the Austin Matthews release.
Okay. All right. Makes sense.
So
John Healy, pardon?
No, it's just that there's a lot of benefits in that way.
Yeah, for sure. We'll take our final break here in the business of sport. Jason Gregor, Rich Winter, John Healy with us. It's the Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca. When we come back, we're going to talk about reducing the delay to allow you to shoot and score more.
Spring style and road-ready performance are more affordable than ever. Now at Volvo Cars Edmonton. Lease or finance a 2025 XC90 plug-in hybrid from 1.49% and save up to $5,000. Lease a 2025 XC60 plug-in hybrid from 4.9% and save $3,000. Lease or finance a 2025 XC40 from 0.49% and save $2,000. Get ready for the open road at Volvo Cars Edmonton. Great vehicles, better services, only at VolvoCarsEdmonton.com.
Hey, Alberta, the all-new Play Alberta app is here. Casino, sports betting, lottery, all in one app, right on your phone. And because it's Play Alberta, you know it's safe, secure, and reliable. Download it now and play over 500 online casino games, live dealer tables, and unique games you'll love. Plus, bet on sports from anywhere in the province. You in? Download Play Alberta now from your phone's app store and deposit using promo code OIL for a $100 casino bonus on the house. That's promo code OIL for a $100 casino bonus.
The job isn't done until the last load is hauled, and having a semi-trailer out of commission is not an option. Whether replacing or adding to your convoy, Edmonton Trailer has a huge inventory of new and used semi-trailers, trusted by the gravel, logging, oil field, fluids, and freight industries. Find a trailer right for you online or at one of their 3 locations. For sales, service, parts, rental, and finance, when you're in it for the long haul, Edmonton Trailer.
It's Customer Appreciation Day at Vitality Health Foods. Take 25% off select products like Golax by Healthology for healthy digestion, Salus milk thistle extract to protect your liver, and Healthology's gut effects. Customer Appreciation is the first Tuesday and Wednesday of each month. Visit Vitality Health Foods today.
We've been waiting for this since preseason.
It's playoff time.
And Sports 1440
Is your home for all things hockey. Kevin, Lowtide, Jason, and the pre- and post-game shows with Andrew. So many reasons why we're Edmonton's sports leader.
Thursday, May 8th is McHappy Day, when every menu item purchased at McDonald's helps support families with sick children. So you can feel the good that comes from doing good, just from ordering.
So if I order a Big Mac, I'm helping.
Yep.
What about a McFlurry? 10-piece chicken McNuggets and apple pie?
You got it. Every single order helps. Join us at McDonald's for McHappy Day on Thursday, May 8th. Do good, feel good. A portion of food and beverage sales will support RMHC chapters and local children's charities across Canada.
Adventure just doesn't stumble into your life. It roars to life with Riverside Motorsports. Tearing up trails or cruising the open road. Yamaha ATVs, side-by-sides, motorcycles, and dirt bikes deliver the performance you crave. Built for thrills, ready for your next adventure. Yamaha's legendary performance and reliability take you there. Make Mother Nature your playground on a Yamaha from Riverside Motorsports. Located on St. Albert Trail. RideRiverside.com. Riverside Motorsports. What you do for fun is our business.
Your cooperator's advisor can help find farm insurance that meets your specific needs.
like the I know all 217 acres like the back of my hand plan. Talk to a local advisor today about how you can get personalized farm insurance from a company founded by farmers.
Looking for a local cooperators advisor? Give Camrose Insurance Financial Solutions a call at 780-672-9251 and see the difference a personalized plan makes. Cooperators, investing in your future together.
O'Hanlon Paving is looking for finished skid steer operators, finished grader operators, Class 1 drivers, and more to join their Edmonton road crew team. Bring your positive attitude and great work ethic to their job fair Friday, May 9th from 10 till 3. Visit o'hanlonpaving.com/careers.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Japa Machinery. Did you know that Japa offers in-house and on-site service? Rain or shine, Japa's service department is here for you. Get a quote now at japamachinery.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
The final segment today, very excited. I love it when we learn new stuff on the show. Jason Gregor alongside Rich Winter. John Healy is our guest today from Clearsight Analytics. It's the Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca. And so, John, we talked and you opened up about you want to reduce delay. And when we talk stick calibration, you know, a lot of people think of line, they think of the length and the flex. That's all important. But you want to have your stick maximizing so your delay is less. Your shoulders aren't going up. Your hands are more comfortable. So when you use that in attacking, so now let's say you got the right stick, John, and I know you do a lot of videos on it. And I think you have a video of Dorofeev that we're going to get to kind of walk us through what you're looking for here and a way to attack that's a little different.
Yeah. So what I break down here in this video, and it's not even as much of a knock on Dorofeev's stick in general, as much as it is just for players and anyone out there watching who gets to see this video of understanding the importance of delay in a shot.
Okay.
So when you watch this, as you catch it, and I zoom in super low on the we have a millisecond counter down there. So as he catches the puck, we can see that pretty much the entire right side of the net is open as Gustafsson is moving to his left, his glove side.
Yes.
Every 10th of a second, more and more of that net shrinks.
Right.
So what happens when we have no delay? If he was able to one time that puck, what would it look like? If he was able to just quickly deaden it and shoot it, we've got still pretty reasonable amount of net to work with. But by the time he releases it, which by even our standards, under 0.5 of a second, right, the 0.5 of a second mark, half a second, you can see how drastically little net becomes available.
Right.
So if we know that, and obviously he's not super well defended at this point, right? He would say he has time and space to work with.
He's on the power play for anybody listening. He's in like the bottom right circle in the offensive zone.
Receiving the puck from the offside.
So he's a lefty, shooting that puck from the right side of the ice. And again, not a knocking. I'm not going to dive into the calibration there, been on the ice with Pavel. But again, just seeing how quickly an NHL goaltender moves in that half of a second and how much net disappears.
Yeah.
Right?
Now the pass wasn't great, right? Because if he was in open spot, I think if the pass is in his wheelhouse, maybe it changes. But when it was, the thing I loved about it was watching the super slow motion video to see how the net literally, like the openings of the net, it's wide open and it shrunk in like less than half a second.
Well, I think, Jason, I look at that and I think, I don't know what John thinks, but it looks to me that maybe with a shorter stick, he's receiving that puck in front of his body, right? I don't know if that's
essentially, yeah, we would want, I would tweak his pre-shot positioning. I would turn his feet more towards the net. I would get his hands to drive off more. And then I could adjust to that puck so I can deaden and kind of scoop shot it, we could call it as a term. Kucherov does it quite a bit, like a soft one-timer. He kind of grabs it and throws it. And you're able
Which is back to the speed issue, is not as important in terms of the speed of the puck as it is the speed of the release.
Right. So if we could eliminate 0.2 of a second on that release, and he shoots the puck half as fast, the net is still open.
The puck still goes in. That's right. Like you could shoot it faster and get the release off slower, but you're just potentially, just hitting him in the belly button.
When you look, John, and I always like to focus on the younger levels a little bit because that's the majority of the people who play the game and they all dream and have aspirations to go up higher. Any sort of drills that you've done that's going to help people or young players, young coaches that can help them. So, kids can find out like, okay, how can I shorten the delays from when I take a pass, right? Just at the basic level of receiving a pass, release it. Are there things to be working on specific for that to lower the delay in the offensive zone?
Yeah, absolutely. As you learn across sports, quiet eye is a huge factor in execution. So one thing we want to be able to focus on, and this is where your stick fitting comes into play, is when I receive a pass, the further out from my body the pass is that I meet, the more I can extend my hands, the less my jaw has to drop to see the puck. So what'll happen is a player will come in and they'll do this. Their jaw drops, and now what has to happen? Now you've got to recalibrate your eyes and all of that. Now we're missing the entire game. Literally, we blacked out like as if we went to commercial, and then we reopen, and now the game has changed. The picture's changed in front of us. The goal.
Well, and I think, John, if it prevents them from scanning the ice, right? They learn to look at the puck and look at the immediate play in front of them versus looking at the entire ice.
Correct. So the more we can get comfortable meeting it out, and in any type of skill session, open ice, anytime your parents are able to get an iPad, a cell phone, even just for a couple of reps, just so you can get visual feedback. So you can say, literally, you're still dropping your jaw. If we can catch a puck and shoot it without dropping your jaw, you're going to eliminate a lot of delay.
Wow, that is very easy and simple for anybody listening. Catch and release without dropping your jaw. Right? That's a very simple one to look at. Don't drop. And just doing it here, I'm visualizing myself. I'm like, oh man, I'm guaranteed that I'm dropping my jaw every time.
Well, and then just picture yourself from different spots. Like, how would I receive a puck from in front of me? How would I get it from my left? Obviously, the people driving, we probably don't need you to drop your jaw and look up in traffic, but honestly, but try it in any walks of life.
Yes.
Right? Like, imagine a batter in baseball dropping his jaw, then looking up and trying to find the pitch.
Yeah.
Right. There's just we just don't want to add any of that delay. So it's all these pieces of delay we're trying to eliminate in your game. And really, a lot of this study came from working with Steve, because goalies got better at goalie long time before players got better at shooting. Right. Mm-hmm. And honestly, the stick technology, I think, set it back a number of years, because in the year 2000, when everyone got these composite sticks, we started shooting the puck harder. And then
faster
skyrocketed.
Yeah.
And goal scoring went down. Right.
Because they're shooting harder. It's less accurate. Right. And so who cares if you can shoot at 100 miles an hour into the middle of the net, you're much better off to shoot at 97 miles an hour into the corner.
100%, 75 miles an hour into the corner.
Yeah.
And if the nice thing is now with the radar technology in the games, watch the guys who come over and take a slap shot off the rush, 93 miles an hour, and Hellebuck's just like, okay, yep, thank you, whistle. Like, it's not even a second thought. And so I think
this isn't just happening in hockey. A great book to read is called The MVP Machine. It's about a group of scientists, sports scientists in LA and Seattle, and they've taken to using high-speed cameras to teach. Basically, minor league players have become, if you read through that book, I'm not a big baseball aficionado, so when I'm reading the big names, I don't remember them, but tournament from Major League Baseball minor leaguers into Major League Baseball all-stars. And it's by, things that we've heard. It's like we hear all of this garbage, and John knows as well. Get the puck to the net. That really doesn't make sense as a primary option. But in baseball, what we were told, get wood on it, right? Just get wood on it, right? In this case, it's aluminum, but it's not true. You got to get loft on it, because the percentage chance of a ball just hit on the ground compared to a ball hit at 6-8 feet of improving your batting average it's massive, right? So all this science is coming into there. And I think what we're trying to do as an agency is expose our players to this, because the guy whose stick is too long that might make $120,000 a year for 6 years in the American League, we'd much rather him be making $4 or $5 million in the NHL. And I think for the most part they would, but none of them are thinking about this, right? They're hiring agents because it's their buddy, instead of, what can an agent do for me? Like, because what we want, and John mentioned that they want to be the best they can be. So whether it's work with us, you have to ask the right question. How are you going to improve my game? Because that's what I need in a partner, right? And no one's asking that. And as a result, probably half of the big agencies, clients don't make the league, make it, and they have no idea why. They've got no help doing it. Some guys do this well enough intuitively. It doesn't matter who their agent is.
Well, John, Stephen talked last week so the goalies are great at sealing off the bottom of the ice. And so you got to get into the upper half of the net. Hellebuck, Kemper, name it. And lots of guys like elevation from in close on a shot to get it up over the pad into the upper echelon of the net. So obviously stick's going to matter sometimes, or how much is his body position. Like you just talked about the catch and release with your chin, staying up. That's part of it. But are there things that you've seen, drills, hands, sticks, that's going to allow players to elevate the puck quicker from in tight, and maybe not even quicker, but more accurately and more often?
Yeah, I mean, without a doubt. So it's all the pieces you just mentioned need to come into play. I don't know if anyone watched the Logan Stankoven goal last night, but I messaged it to all the guys that skated with us last night during that game, because we played a little 3v2 game that had that exact pass, that exact shot. So it's training the sequences that are actually scoring goals, right? So knowing how goals are scored in the game, we train those. Same way that Steve isn't training. I know he gave a little anecdote about Strauss. Like, if you're never carrying the puck across the slot line and facing that in a game, why are we training that in the summer?
Right.
So everything we do on the ice is directly applicable to what's going on the ice, right? People haven't figured that out yet. They like to train in isolation and say, okay, well, we're going to make you shoot the puck harder. We're going to give you a longer stick, maybe a little bit whippier, and you're going to start ripping these pucks, and mom and dad are going to be so excited but you're not doing it in any ways that you would ever take a shot in a game or score in a game, because the goalie's already set and you're shooting it hard and he's making a great save off his chest. Right?
I remember Peter Zakor and Patrick Eliash. I mean, if you remember back to the Bobby Hulls of the world, they were ripping shots just, from the off one side of the ice or not, and scoring lots. But remember them saying to me, we went out for dinner when they were both still in the minors. He said, just with this goalie equipment, man, and the speed and the goalies, like, we come down the wing, there's no room anymore, right? So all of this becomes critically important because the goalies have got so good.
So I guess, Jason, to answer your question, it's posture, it's knowing the details of how to receive said puck. And if you notice what Logan does, and this is something I typically only do with my higher and younger kids and the pros, is he actually moves laterally on first touch on the catch. He actually catches that puck and continues moving to his right. He goes across the slot line. Now the screen comes, and then he shoots it back against the grain. So I already know Scott Murray knows exactly how dangerous that shot was. Their goaltending coach for Washington. It's a nightmare for the goalie. And if Logan had caught that and pulled it back towards where the pass came from, it's a save.
Yeah. Well, I think kids got to understand one basic thing is that the amount of work that goes into a Sidney Crosby or a Kobe Bryant is their success is not based on talent. Sid's not big. Kobe wasn't much of a player as a young man, but they just realized, both of them, that if you practice twice as long, twice as often as everybody else, you're just going to get better. And I remember one instance where Sid was in California using one of our skill guys. So he was on the ice 3 separate days for an hour working on one move. And the coach that was working with him coached young Pee-wee players there. They're all watching, coaches, training Sid. So in that group of players, virtually all of them, or at least one of them, had to watch virtually every one of Sidney Crosby's games for the next 4 or 5 years. And as far as they could determine, Sid only used that move twice in the next 5 years. So kids don't understand what hard work is. The stuff John's talking about is things you need to work on. And if you're just going to go in the gym for an hour, hour and a half, and you're going to skate twice a week and you don't have the right guidance, it's all about deliberate practice and work at things that will improve you. Like, there's lots of kids on the ice working their tail off. They're telling me they're working really hard, but they're not doing anything to improve themselves. Right, John?
Yeah, that's 100% correct.
So it's really got to be, and that's why when Jason, you and I have talked about this, I think this is why we clearly need to go back, adjust the practice game ratio for kids. They have to practice way more than they're playing, because you're not learning.
Well, but then you need effective practice drills, right, John? Like, if you practice 4 times a week, but you're not doing effective practice time, it doesn't matter. It's all about, are you practicing to drill? So I want us to leave. Do you have the most simple, basic drill in practice that you would want for I don't care what level of kids, U9, U11, U13, that's going to help them just get into a mindset of how to finish off more? Because I see kids come in, they're wide open in the slot, they flub the shot, they miss the net. What are some repetition drills that you should be doing every practice so your kids, when they get in that situation, and just start at the basic one, John, because obviously we don't have time to incorporate all of them, but is there one basic one?
Yeah, I would say there's a drill that I do pretty much every skate with every level of player that I work with. Lefty, righty, forward, D, doesn't matter. So if you're a coach or anyone listening, you can just take a pile of pucks and put them on either face-off dot in the offensive zone. So we'll just say right face-off dot. The players are all going to line up at the left face-off dot in the neutral zone. Okay. So we call this F3 or trailer speed, which they're going to skate in. They'll take 2 strides and then they're gliding. And we call this, we want them to achieve neutral position. So you're not assigning any energy in your body to any specific pass that you think is going to come. Too many kids get prepared for what we would call the perfect pass. So they're waiting for it. Okay, I've got it. When that thing happens in an undefended practice plan, zip it tape to tape. I catch it. I shoot it. I can go high glove, high blocker. We're good. Now what happens when I send a sauce pass? What happens when I put it 3 feet in front of you, 3 feet behind you, into your skate? If we can stay neutral, I think Kucherov might be the best one in the league at this. Rerouting yourself to the puck and then achieving everything that we just talked about: posture, first touch, keeping your jaw from dropping, and elevating that puck into the upper third of the net. We don't want a goalie because the goalies can kind of ruin this drill. It's actually easier without a goalie. You could put a goalie in if it's a team practice, but
or a shooter.
15 minutes. So all the coach's responsibility is put an assortment of different pucks out there for every kid going. So one time, send him a nice clean tape to tape. Send a little slow sauce pass. Put it 10 feet in front of him, make him come from his gliding posture, his neutral, to sprint onto that puck and grab it and shoot it. Throw one up ice back to his left. So now he has to reroute up, and now he's got to decide, do I touch it on my backhand to get it over, or do I get it on my forehand and tweak myself? And then you switch the pucks to the other side of the ice and switch the players to the opposite side of the ice.
Oh, I love it. Very simple. Anybody listening, you can do it, because in a game, we don't have the perfect pass, right? And it's how you can adjust. Can you knock down a pass? All of a sudden I'm slow. Now I got to speed up, and then I got to reset. And I love the catch release. Don't drop your jaw. If there's anything I took out of today, to me, that's the number one thing to look for. John, this has been fantastic. We'll have to do it again. Thanks so much for your insight. I love the work you guys are doing at Clearsight Analytics. I think it adds a new element of the game. And obviously there's much more to the game than just the numbers. There's the execution behind the numbers that is key. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you very much, Jason.
Thanks, John. Appreciate it, John.
Thanks,
Rich. There you go. That's John Healy from Clearsight Analytics. Rich, have yourself a great week, and we will chat with you again next Wednesday. We'll be in studio.
Yeah, perfect. That sounds great.
Awesome. Let's get to the Con Man and a Sports 1440 update brought to you by Legacy Heating and Cooling. Home to no payments, no interest for 1 year on your AC unit. Stay cool all summer at legacyheating.ca.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
2 games on the ice tonight in the Stanley Cup playoffs, getting going in about 10 minutes. You got the Leafs looking to go up 2-0 over the Panthers. Then at 7:30, Stars and Jets kicking off their second round series from Winnipeg in the association. In 5 minutes, Celtics and Knicks going at it from Boston. The Knicks lead that series 1-0 at 7:30. Thunder will try to even up their series with the Nuggets, currently trailing 1-0 in the majors. Jays are in Anaheim. That gets going just after 7:30. Right now, Dodgers have a 7-0 lead over the Marlins midway through the 8th. Red Sox Rangers scoreless in the 2nd. Earlier today, it was the Mariners over the Athletics 6-5, and the Diamondbacks falling at home to the Mets 7-1. PWHL action tonight. Getting going shortly, you've got Minnesota in Toronto. Coming up in hour 4 of the Jason Gregor Show, we'll talk to Mark Spector from Vegas about the Edmonton Oilers Game 1 victory, and we'll head out to Winnipeg and be joined by Jets reporter Ken Wiebe. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440 in West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin. CKJR is a Stingray radio station.
Download the free radio player app and listen wherever you go.
Summit Restaurant, located in the heart of the Silent Ice Center and just minutes from South Edmonton Common. Summit is your destination for exceptional house-made pizza, delicious entrees, and expertly crafted cocktails. Experience the perfect blend of flavor and ambiance in a modern setting. Join us for a straightforward yet elevated dining experience where our commitment to quality speaks to every bite and sip. Make Summit Restaurant your next night on the town.
Get ready to revolutionize your job site with Edmonton Kubota's game-changing compact construction equipment. From mini excavators and skid steers to track loaders, carriers, and utility vehicles, they have a model to fit every need. All powered by legendary
Welcome back,
Kubota
the
diesel
Wednesday
engines.
edition.
These machines are built for performance and reliability. Transform your work with Edmonton Kubota's top-of-the-line compact.
We continue on Wednesday edition of the Gregor.
And see why they're
Continue on
you can trust for power
Wednesday.
and precision.
The Bricks tent sale is on now. With so many items to clear out, they've had to set up tents in the parking lot. Save up to 60% off clearance items in the tent and store.
We are back. The
With new
final
specials
segment
every day
today.
and a bonus
Very,
gift for furniture
very-
purchases over $999. These offers won't last long. Save up to 50% off select mattresses, up to 25% off of bedroom and dining furniture, and the more you buy, the more you save, up to an extra $1,000 off appliances. Some exclusions apply. See in-store for details. The Brick, saving you more.
Getting your vehicle sparkling clean doesn't have to cost a fortune. Take it into Hughes today and pay just loonies a wash.
Find us at hughescarwash.com. It's Customer Appreciation Day at Vitality Health Foods. Take 25% off select products like Golax by Healthology for healthy digestion, Salus milk thistle extract to protect your liver, and Healthology's gut effects. Customer Appreciation is the first Tuesday and Wednesday of each month. Visit Vitality Health Foods today.
Explore beyond the boundaries of capability and value during Truck Month at GMC. Right now, get 0% financing for up to 72 months on the 2025 Sierra 1500 Crew Cab Pro Graphite. With a TurboMax engine delivering 310 horsepower, GMC Pro safety features including automatic emergency braking, plus a max towing of up to 9,500 pounds. You'll be ready for anything this Truck Month. Ask your GMC dealer for details.
Every morning, you look in the mirror and see less of yourself. Hair loss can feel like losing a part of who you are.
But it doesn't have to be that way. Hi, I'm Dr. Vance Elliott. At Advanced Hair and Skin Surgery, we understand the pain of hair loss. Our advanced hair restoration solutions won't just bring back your hair, they'll help you face the mirror with confidence.
Good morning, you sexy beast. Visit drvanceelliott.com today because it's time to be the man you remember.
Hi there, I'm Ryan Reynolds, and like most actors, I have a list of things that I like to have on set. It's called a rider. It's just little things like wind chimes being blown by an easterly breeze, a 7-year-old calico cat growing on my lap, and of course, 2 freshly cracked eggs scrambled with crispy hash brown sausage crumble and creamy chipotle sauce from Tim Hortons. It smells amazing. Now, where did I put that hand-carved wooden spoon? From my rider to Tim's menu, try my new scrambled eggs loaded breakfast box.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Culligan for all your residential water needs. Your local water treatment company, more than just big bottles, Culligan.com.
From puck drop to kickoff, it's the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
$5:07. Welcome back, Sports 1440, Oilers Nation, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. Hope you're having a lovely, lovely Wednesday. Of course, NHL playoffs. 2 games tonight, the Leafs and the Panthers, followed by the Jets and the Dallas Stars as they games 2 for the Leafs, game 1 for the Stars and the Jets. The Gregor Show is always presented by PlayAlberta.ca. And Lotto 649 tonight. Good luck. $60 million. Of course, the classic jackpot of 5 as well. Get your tickets at playalberta.ca. And tomorrow's Lotto Max up to 80 million and 14 max millions. Woo! Fire it up. Coming up this hour, we will talk to Spec in Vegas. We got Ken Weeb going to set up the Winnipeg and Dallas series. Should be a lot of fun. Let's and we'll take some texts as well. 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. Let's get to the Spec report now, brought to you by GS Construction, your underground infrastructure specialist, and they are hiring. You want to work for a fantastic company. They got lots of work, and they love promoting from within. You're looking for a career, not just a job. Go to GS Construction as Mark Spector joins us from Las Vegas. Spec, good afternoon. How you doing?
Oh, doing pretty fair here, Jay. What's going on back home?
Well, Oiler fans pretty fired up, as they should be. Big win last night for the Oilers, and they will try to make it 2 in a row tomorrow night. But let's before we get to that, let's start about the game last night. And obviously, it wasn't a great start. A little bit unlucky on the first Mark Stone goal. It's the double deflection that ricochets off one guy and then off of Stone, and boom, they get the goal, and then a pass / giveaway in the offensive zone that we talked about before the series that you don't want to do against Vegas, and they capitalize right off the rush, and you're like, uh-oh. But then for the next 50 minutes, the Oilers are like, okay, we're into it, and I don't know if the 4-minute double minor had anything to do with it or not, but, man, those final 50 minutes looked eerily similar to Game 5 against LA.
Yeah, they totally dominated. Like, I'm giving them, between 35 and 40 of those last 50 minutes that were played. And you could see the residuals, right? It wasn't the Oilers mixing their lines up to try to keep up in that game. It was Bruce Cassidy behind Vegas's bench. He was tossing his lines around, right? It wasn't, you watch the game, Edmonton pressure. Vegas got the puck out, but they couldn't do anything with it, Jason, because they had to change, right? So you chuck it out and you change, and here come the Oilers right back at you. And Vegas couldn't find a way, just like LA. They couldn't find a way to turn that table where they had the pressure, and Edmonton was trying to change and clear their zone. So yeah, very dominant, very, very dominant game. As dominant an Edmonton Vegas game, Jay, as we've seen. I mean, I've seen Edmonton win in here a bunch, but I've never seen them dominate Vegas like that much.
Well, Vegas looked noticeably slower all over the Oilers' puck movement was exceptional, especially from their back end, Spec. And I know you talked to the players after the game, and then you talked to them today, but man, like John Klingberg, Bouchard, Wallman, Nurse, go down the list last night. Like the puck movement from the back end was exceptional.
Like how about Klingberg? This guy, like now, last night he looked like a guy that was Dallas's best player in that bubble Stanley Cup final loss to Tampa. Like, oh my goodness, if maybe that's just one unbelievable game and he's going to sort of fall back to some level, but holy man, if he plays that well, if this is the new hips resurfacing hip operation guy and he's going to be this good the rest of the way, are you kidding me? He was unbelievable last night. So, good work. Good luck for the Oil. If they got this guy at the right time when he's healthy, when the last 4 teams had him and he wasn't healthy, oh boy, that's good luck for your team.
Wow. His poise, like there was a few times at the offensive blue line where I'm like, I can't believe he's dangling guys there and not just dumping the puck in. But he has that much, and he made the play every time. Like he's got so much confidence with the puck at the offensive blue line.
Well, and I'm writing a piece right now, hockey and injuries. Like it's the hardest championship run in any sport, right? It's 2 months of hockey playing every second day. It's pucks flying around at 100 miles an hour, hitting you everywhere. It's physical. It's hard. Injuries derail even the very best team. So injury luck's a huge, huge part of hockey. The guys that get to keep playing, the guys that get knocked out, Winnipeg loses Scheifele, Dallas loses Heiskanen. So the Oilers are getting a pretty, they got Klingberg at the right time, it looks like. They get Kane back. No one plays as well as Kane's playing, coming off of 2 surgeries, but he's playing really well. Frederick's high ankle sprain. I wasn't sure that was going to hold out for even more than 7 minutes again. Knock wood, he's looking pretty good. So they're getting all the bad breaks they had during the season that got dismantled by all these injuries. And I'm trying not to jinx anyone here, but all these guys are playing well, and these injured players aren't just hanging on. They're becoming a big part of this thing.
Oh, well, it's the third game in a row, Spec, now they did have Draisaitl and McDavid chip in early, as they should. But then when it came down to the game-winning goal, your second line, the insurance goal, your third line, and their fourth line had goals in games 5 and 6, and as did Connor Brown. Like the order, and Connor Brown, what a goal! That's is that Connor McDavid? You don't see Connor Brown, who's a really good skater, just blow by Shea Theodore, pretty good defenseman at center ice.
I know, and I talked to Connor today about the confidence, and when you get hurt, with a major injury, the hip resurfacing thing that Klingberg had that's a big deal, man. And Connor Brown blows out an ACL. That's the worst knee injury you're going to have. And the guy I saw on that breakaway last night looked so much more confident and believing he was going to score than the guy, 3/4 of the way through last season. Remember, he scored a goal against Washington. They gave him a standing ovation.
Yeah.
It was he's a completely different guy because he's confident. He's been through the injury. He believes in himself now. He's got his step back. He's got his pop. He's got his confidence. Klingberg's at the same point. It's mentally, right? It's all mental. And those guys are kind of looking like they're coming through it here.
Spec, what about Vegas? I don't know if you talked to them today or not, if they're practicing in a different place, but what was Vegas's message today after yesterday? And, they obviously got to play better. Where do they feel they got to play better?
They feel for what I listened to a little bit of stuff today, and like every team that loses, Jay, they say, well, we made a mistake here. And we kind of gave them that goal there. And our neutral zone, Mark Stone talked about the neutral zone. He said, when you're an Oiler fan, you go, look at them. They can't get through the neutral zone. Our defense is awesome. And when you're Mark Stone, you go, we can execute way better going through the neutral zone. So we still have the puck at the other end of it. I thought Evan Bouchard, particularly, his gap last night, guys couldn't get through the neutral zone on him. He was fantastic. So that's what they're saying, Jay, is that we're a better team than this. They're not that much better than us the way it looked last night. We're going to execute better. We're going to be better. I don't know if they're getting Pietrangelo back. They say he's sick. I'm not sure he's sick. We'll find that out.
Yeah. Well, what I found interesting in the game was, we could execute better. See, I still thought Edmonton, was the team that had a few more errant passes. I didn't see a ton of passes from Vegas. I didn't see them have the puck very much, to be honest. Right? Edmonton, maybe I saw more errant passes for Edmonton because they have the puck more, right? I know Draisaitl had 3 up until the third one, and that one led to a goal against, and then I don't think he had any after that. Maybe he just realized, okay, stop with the, a little bit of the risky passes here. Let's just make good passes and hold on to it. But I'm like Vegas's speed up front, and I knew going in, I said Vegas isn't as quick as, they weren't as quick as LA for sure. And they're not as quick as Edmonton. There's no debate on that. They even switched up. They took Carlson off the Eichel line. Do you think that's going to continue?
No, they're going back to Barbashev up with Eichel and Stone.
Yeah.
They did at practice today. They're kind of reverting to some lines I think that they had, I'd say to you, when late in the season. I just saw, listen, I don't have their lines memorized from game 80 and 81, but the word out of Vegas today is they're going back to their original lines that they had changed. So the main move is Barbashev's going back up with the big boys. No Dorofeyev at practice again today.
No, but he's not playing.
He's not playing anytime soon by the sounds of it. That's 35 goals sitting in the press box, so that hurts. And again, Pietrangelo's he's a steadying force. The guys here tell you that maybe there's a little father time coming up, catching up to Pietrangelo. He wasn't as good this year as he's been, not as dominant, but he's still their guy. He's still their steadying force back there. He's a 26-minute guy. So you catch Vegas without Pietrangelo, and the Oilers did what they got to do. They won the game. They dominated them. You'd hate to play Vegas without their best D-man and not beat them. That wouldn't be good for you.
That's right? And hey, Edmonton's without their, one of their best defensemen.
They are, but I guess they're getting kind of used to it. That's all.
Yes. Yeah, no, it's totally different. You're right. No one had talked about Pietrangelo not playing until the game started. And
Yeah.
I said, hey, Edmonton, you got to take advantage of it, which they did. And, now they got an opportunity spec. Like, the Oilers, I guess LA was 5 and Calgary was 5, but neither one, they haven't, like, I'm trying to think when the last time the Oilers were up 2-0 in the series. I guess I got to go back to Anaheim series of 2006, I would think would be the last.
So that's
like this, the Oilers in this era, I'm racking my brain. LA was, I don't think they were up 2-0 against LA when they beat them in 5. I know that wasn't in Calgary because they lost game 1. Obviously not in Vegas. The other series against LA, no. Like, you give yourself it would be a unique thing here for this team. They've historically made life harder on themselves. And, a 2-0 series lead would definitely say, hey, now all we got to do is win, 2 out of 5. They got to win 4 out of 5. Much harder.
Well, Connor McDavid's laughed today. He says, I'm not sure what to do. We're not used to this, how to react to being up to 1-0. But no, he had a sort of the tone of his voice changed a little bit when he said, like, we know what it's worth to win this game on Thursday. Like, we know how big a game this would be. You can, you can't win a series in the second game, but oh boy, you can take a huge mental edge when you're going home and you win both games in their rink. Like, that's giant. I don't know. Someone's going to dig the stats up on what percentage of series gets won by the team that does that. But I don't need to see the numbers to tell you that you come into a guy's rink and beat him twice, and then you're going home into Edmonton. Like, it's hard to win in Edmonton, man, with that crowd and that team and what's going on in that rink every night. So giant game in this series, awfully early. Giant for Vegas, not as giant for Edmonton, but giant on Thursday night for the Vegas Golden Knights.
Well, yeah, and it's early on. The Oilers, I don't expect Zach Hyman scored the huge goal, and he had lots of hits in that LA series. Or some people thought that maybe Hyman's be nursing something. I felt like it looks like his speed's getting better. I don't know if you've talked to him about it or not, and maybe he wouldn't answer it anyway. But is Hyman looking better for you than he did early in the playoffs?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not even sure what his injury was at the end of the year. Did you know?
I never got 100% confirmation.
Yeah,
no.
Like it would make it easier to talk about if you knew how the guy was hurt. But for sure he's moving better. Like, this is like, and it takes me back to this injury thing, Jay. Like, some guys get injuries at the end of the season that they have to nurse through the playoffs that don't go away till summer. And that guy is always a 70% player, and you never get out of him what you wish you could get out of him. Right. And then some guys get an injury like Hyman's where it kind of goes away and he just gets better and better. It's an injury that doesn't linger is what I'm trying to say. And, it's like Frederick. Like, I didn't know if he was going to be able to play another game. Well, he's starting to get better. It looks like he's getting past that thing. Hyman is quicker, and he's getting in the forecheck, and he's banging, and he's winning battles and loosening up pucks. And there he was flying down the wing. Like, that's to score from distance with what was left in that game, less than 3 minutes last night, rings it in off the post glove side. I mean, I guess you want that save, but you put pucks in off the post. Those are pretty good shots. That's a giant goal not to have to go into overtime last night.
Now, Kevin Woodley said, like, on Hill, that's where you shoot, especially where, like, you got prime time in there. And, Kevin Woodley did a whole scouting report on Aiden Hill and said, you know what, every goalie has an area, and high glove was the one area. On open looks with time, high glove's the area to shoot on Aiden Hill, according to Woodley. And I was watching that last night, and I'm like, all right, looks like that one came to fruition pretty good. So,
yeah. And Pickard was good last night. Huge save on Hurdle at the end when it's 3-2. Was it 3-2 when he made that save? I think it was 3-2 when he made that save on Hurdle in close.
Yeah. Yeah, you know what? He wasn't tested very much last night at all, and kudos to the players in front of him. But again, when he needed to make a save, he made the save. And that's all you need. The Oilers, and I've said, and I'll continue to say it, they're not built to have their goalie to steal them games very often. Every now and then it'll be a bonus. If you just get solid goaltending the way they're playing, you have a decent shot.
Tell you, like, I'm a little concerned about this team where the length of my summer is concerned, Jason. They're starting to play. They're starting to look like a really good team here. I don't want to, I don't want to jinx anybody, but the way they closed out that LA series against a pretty good LA team, like that dominated a lot of clubs this season, And Edmonton came through that series as clearly superior. And then they walk in and start this way, and they got 4 lines going, and their goaltending is holding up. And some guys who are, I didn't think Klingberg would be anywhere close to this good. There's some guys now that are becoming factors. We didn't expect it. And I'll tell you what, if they can hang around long enough for Ekholm to get back, oh boy, I don't mind that defense core one bit.
Oh God, yeah. Like you put Ekholm in and instead of Emberson, that's because you would just move over Wallman probably to the right side and away you go. Yeah, your defense would look a lot better. And not that Emerson's playing poorly, but obviously he's not Ekholm. And then you don't even have to you could bring Ekholm back spec and not have to play him top pair minutes. You could just say, hey, coming off this injury, when he comes back in, he'll just be a third pair defenseman for us. Nothing wrong with that.
Sure. Put him with Wallman on the third pair for a few games, right? Until he finds his legs again. But once he finds his legs, assuming he can do this, now you got a guy that's healthy. Now we're looking ahead because it sounds like he's not doing that till the third round. But,
oh, dude, he's not third round at best. And I would say probably late third round if we're being realistic.
So let's see what happens. But I'm telling you, I'm watching them play last night, and they're moving that puck. You mentioned earlier, you said Vegas looks slow. I remember watching the Oilers in December and thinking, man, the Oilers look slow. And we were on this radio station right here talking about losing McLeod and losing Holloway, right? And not having that team speed. And now here we are when the games really matter. And we're looking at the Oilers. The way they're moving that puck, they look quick. And that's a huge change from what we saw halfway through the season.
Very true. Spec, have a good one. Enjoy Vegas tonight. Pace yourself. And we will chat with you tomorrow.
All right. Thanks, Jake.
There you go. That's Mark Spector, the Spec Report brought to you by GS Construction. Quick break. When we come back, Dallas and Winnipeg. And Oiler fans, you're intrigued by this series because if the Oilers win, they will play either Dallas or Winnipeg. Now, they'll automatically start on the road in that series regardless. But did you know? And this is looking long-term, but hey, have for fun. The Oilers could, in theory, have home ice advantage in the Stanley Cup final if Carolina or Florida are one of the teams representing the East. So dare to dream, Oiler fans. Dare to dream. We'll return on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Spring style and road-ready performance are more affordable than ever. Now at Volvo Cars Edmonton. Lease or finance a 2025 XC90 plug-in hybrid from 1.49% and save up to $5,000. Lease a 2025 XC60 plug-in hybrid from 4.9% and save $3,000. Lease or finance a 2025 XC40 from 0.49% and save $2,000. Get ready for the open road at Volvo Cars Edmonton. Great vehicles, better services, only at VolvoCarsEdmonton.com.
Legacy Heating and Cooling jingle auditions take one for Gene Principe. Hey, thanks for being on time.
I'm always punctual. Now, how about some cool beats while I drop the heat?
Ready when you are.
Tall legacy, tall legacy.
Nice.
Boom! I'm a musical genius.
Legacy's going to love this for AC season.
What's not to love with no interest and no Principe payments for 1 year?
Are you always like this?
Yep. Unlike Legacy, I never know when to cool it.
Legacy Heating and Cooling.
A pizza from Papa John's is already pretty great, but you know what's even better? 2 pizzas from Papa John's. For a limited time, get a medium 1-topping pizza for only $6 when you order any large specialty pizza at regular price. The works, the meats. Pick your favorite specialty pizza and get even more delicious Papa John's to enjoy. Whether you're feeding your family, your team, or yourself, get your next meal from your locally owned and operated Papa John's. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's.
We've finished construction of our gamma radiation containment facility. Is it up to code? Is it going to be safe?
Sounds like a job for the men and women of Action Electrical.
Testing team reporting. We test your commercial operations using tools like infrared to ensure safe operation. Trust us to prevent potential calamity before it strikes.
Facing an electrical menace? Call the men and women of Action. Operating throughout Alberta at actionelectrical.net.
It's Customer Appreciation Day at Vitality Health Foods. Take 25% off select products like Golax by Healthology for healthy digestion, Salus Milk Thistle Extract to protect your liver, and Healthology's Gut Effects. Customer Appreciation is the first Tuesday and Wednesday of each month. Visit Vitality Health Foods today.
Garage Superstore by Premier Built Garages is the ultimate destination for everything garage. Storage solutions and cabinets? Garage Superstore has it. Vehicle hoists? Got those too. Durable polyaspartic floor coatings? You bet. From mess to masterpiece, one garage at a time. And when it's time to eat, Traeger Grills brings the heat with wood-fired flavor that can't be beat. Need it? They've got it at Garage Superstore by Premier Built Garages. Visit their massive 8,000 square foot showroom at Calgary Trail and 34th or garagesuperstore.ca.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Can Torque. We offer sale, rental, repair, and calibration of hydraulic, pneumatic, and battery-powered torque wrenches, stud tensioners, and flange maintenance equipment. Order today at cantorque.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
$5.29, Sports 1440, Oilers Nation, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. Hope you're having a lovely Wednesday afternoon. NHL playoffs continue. NBA playoffs are continuing. The Oilers have the day off. They will be back in action tomorrow night in Vegas, looking to go up 2-0. And, of course, they did go up 2-0 in 2017 against the Ducks. Lost that series. Now, that was a little bit more immature Oilers team, I would think. I'd say this pretty confidently. If the Oilers went up 2-0 on Vegas, I don't see them losing. Now, Vegas actually went up 2-0 on Dallas last year on the road. Didn't finish it off. So it's never a guarantee. It's never a guarantee. But Oilers go up 2-0 on Vegas. I would be quite surprised that they would lose 4 of the next 5. Anything's possible. I'd just be surprised. Now, let's get to our playoff report brought to you by your Alberta GMC. Dealer's Truck Month continues on now. We can get $5,000 cash purchase credit on a 2025 Sierra HD model. See them all at gmccanada.ca. The final second round series in the National Hockey League will get going tonight in Dallas. The Winnipeg Jets and the Dallas Stars. Ken Wiebe, Winnipeg Jets beat reporter, joins us. Kenny, welcome back to the show, man. How you doing?
Doing great, Jay. Great to be with you as always. Nice to get the last series of the second round started. Had a good view of the Oilers game 1, and a lot of the things we talked about at the end of my last hit came to fruition, right? All of that secondary scoring and a lot of those complementary players really shining for the Oilers in game 1.
Ken, can you tell us the big news in Winnipeg? Who's playing tonight? Scheifele, Morrissey, Stanley, any of them?
Expecting Scheifele to play unless there was an unexpected setback in the afternoon. He took first line rushes and first power play duty today. He was off the ice early. Both Morrissey and Stanley stayed on with the healthy scratches, though they are obviously still working their way back from their various ailments. For the Stars, Robertson game time, but again, he's taking rushes with Marchment and Johnston, so I'm expecting Robertson back today for game 1, but Heiskanen ruled out this morning by Pete DeBoer.
Okay. So Robertson and Scheifele come back. That's a big boost to both teams. And obviously the big story from afar, and if you look at all the numbers and you watch the games, Ken, like some of the goals that Connor Hellebuyck's allowed in the playoffs here are just, they're like, some of them are like he's getting beat clean looks from distance and they're going kind of right through him. Is he just fighting it? What do you make of it? And do you think that overtime and even the third period for him might just be, a little bit of a snap? Hey, I still am Connor Hellebuyck.
Yeah, bang on. Definitely it was a strange series for Hellebuyck for sure. Jets falling behind 2-0 in the first 8 minutes was certainly not how he or the team drew it up. But yeah, I mean, after he gave up the goal to Faxa in the final minute of the second period, Hellebuyck went back into Hellebuyck mode. He got aggressive. He was challenging shooters. Yes, he caught a break on the Walker shot after the turnover that goes off the post, but he looked like himself for the last last 54 minutes and change, Jay. And, in talking with Connor Halley in the scrum yesterday, he admitted that this big weight was lifted off of his shoulders. And he just basically said when Cole Perfetti tied it, he didn't want to let the team down. And then he elevated his game in those 2 overtimes. So again, he's got to show it. But I do think that Hellebuyck, whatever the hurdle is, mental hurdle, whatever you want to call it, his ability to battle through and get through the first round for the first time since beating the Oilers in 2021, I think is a massive deal, both for him personally and for this Jets team as they prepare to face a really good Dallas Stars team, which, they battled all year for first place and until they pulled away when Dallas kind of stumbled their way to the finish line.
Yeah. Because if he gets back, and they're going to need him, especially with Morrissey out. And now the injury to Morrissey, Ken, how serious? Like, do you expect game 2? Is it not till game 3? What's the thoughts on when he might return?
My best guess is game 2, Jay. From what we saw, he was on the ice in a yellow non-contact, but taking a lot of shots. And again, it looked like his left shoulder was the issue here, both on the Sundqvist hit behind the net and also his hit on Matthew Joseph in game 7 in the first period before he left after just having over 2 minutes of ice time. So I don't see this as being long-term. I do expect him to be back in game 2. Again, it's not certain, but that would be my best educated guess. So obviously the Jets played very well without him, their 5-man unit. But again, this is a Norris caliber defenseman. And as the Oilers fans know, when you're without your number 1 defenseman, in terms of Ekholm there and Morrissey here, other guys got to step up around him. And that's where you saw a guy like Hayden Fleury play 33 minutes. You saw Luke Shen have his best game of the series in game 7. You saw Dylan DeMello play great. And then you saw the Hermantown duo of Neil Pionk and Dylan Sandberg sort of, again, not to bring it up, but Pionk played like he played against McDavid in 2021 when the Jets swept that series. He had 46 minutes and change. Sandberg had 44. And Jay, it's wild. These guys are from Hermantown, Minnesota, just outside of Duluth. I've known each other their whole lives. Not only are they on the same NHL team, they're on the same pairing, and they combined for 90 minutes in a game 7. And Pionk, there he is, taking the shot that gets tipped in by Lowry for the double overtime game 7 clincher.
Ken Weeb joins us live from Dallas, as we can see right from the press room. I love it, Kenny. You've got, you look at the Stars, and they obviously offer, I think, a little bit more high-end talent than the St. Louis Blues had. Now, the Jets were great at home. We saw what happened in St. Louis. And now, is it too easy to just say, "Oh, it's goaltending"? Because I think that's too much. It's too much of an easy out to say it's just goaltending. Why so different for them as a team on the road in that first round?
Yeah, I mean, they just had their structure, I wouldn't say punctured completely, but there were little pinholes in it. And then once those pinholes happened, after the air got out of the balloon, they sort of just kind of uncharacteristically, self-imploded in some ways. And there was a bit of a collapse in a couple of those outings where the game kind of spiraled out of control for them. But again, benefit for the Jets being, the President's Trophy winners. They'll start with the first 2 at home here and try to build on that game 7. Didn't have to go on the road. So yeah, I mean, I think the matchup, it's too simple to also say it was a matchup game because the matchup game was almost the same. Jets still went, Thomas versus Scheifele for the most part in the series. Yeah. Yes, there were a few shifts where they had Schen's line out against them because of the physicality portion. But I think that, the chess match will be interesting. It was interesting with Montgomery and Arneal in round 1. Pete DeBoer also a very good in-game strategist. Even DeBoer, admitted that, he saw the template and the blueprint that the Blues laid out in those 3 wins, and they'll try to, use parts of that. But I think the Jets, when they're at their best, their structure is sound. They don't give up a whole lot. In a lot of ways, these 2 teams, Jay, are like the Spider-Man meme. They're pointing at one another and saying, "Hey, that's how we play." "Oh, no, hey, that's how we play." "No, we're playing like that." So I think they're very similar in terms of style and structure, and it's going to be a very patient game, and that's something that the Jets are going to need to do. Both teams, if they want to have success, you better be patient because both teams can force you into making turnovers that often lead to odd man rushes and goals.
Yeah, that was terrible brain fart on my part. Well, obviously, the Jets are the home team in the series. Looking at the style of play, like this one, from an outsider, I look and say, man, this might be 2-1 games all over the place. Now, then all of a sudden, it's going to be 7-6 because this NHL playoffs has been so wildly unpredictable. Like, the Jets had the greatest comeback in Game 7 ever. Well, definitely the latest comeback. And then the Dallas Stars had one of their own. And it's kind of interesting how both teams, looked like they were kind of done. and they both come back and they win, and now they're here. And that whole thing about Winnipeg, like, they're not at the level of Toronto, obviously, because they've won now, but there did seem to be a lot of internal pressure. They're like, God, we've been a good team, and like, we got waxed last year, and we're feeling it. Like, and Hellebuck said it for him. Do you sense other people in the organization felt that? And there is a little bit of, okay, we can exhale here. Like, we're in the second round, and only good teams usually get to the second round.
Yeah, I think that's well said, Jay. And for sure, in talking to some of the players, and, again, you got to give Adam Lowry credit because he's a great captain. And, him saying that, we hear about it more than we think about it or believe it. But I mean, we're not creating the narrative, Jay. This is not a media picking on a team. I mean, the facts are they won one round since 2019, and that was against the Oilers. So that is not a manufactured narrative, but at the same time, I didn't feel like the Jets were feeling the weight of expectation or the burden of that, not having success for so long in the postseason. But I do think there is an exhale, and I do think it will allow them to sort of put their best foot forward moving forward here. But again, they're facing a team that, most people after game 1 in Colorado thought that the Avalanche were going to dust the Stars in 4 or 5. So They also had their own rally, and, individually, Mikko Rantanen, tough to, again, as crazy as the comeback was for the Jets. I mean, Hollywood scriptwriters working overtime on the weekend with Rantanen having a 4-point period in game 6 and then having 4 points in the third period of game 7. And then, you got to love the flyby also. I mean, he said all the right things politely in his post-game interview, but from listening to people who were there was definitely a few words dropped on the way past the bench after the empty netter. And I love it. I mean, good on him. I mean, he basically was told by his former team that he won a Stanley Cup with that we don't believe you're worth the money. And hey, we get it. You can't pay everybody. And those guys have done a great job, Chris McFarland and Joe Sakic. But if you're Mikko Rantanen, you can feel no other way than that team didn't believe in me or want me. So I'm going to show them what they're missing. So, and the Jets in their own right. I mean, and Rantanen, I spoke with him this morning, Jay. He said, the Jets are also flying high because they were 2.2 seconds away from summer vacation. I mean, this is the reality here. Instead of summer vacation, 2 teams with great rallies in game 7 will go head to head. And this, Jay, both these teams believe they're Stanley Cup contenders. Nobody's, patting themselves on the back or doing a victory lap for getting out of round 1. You need 16 wins, not 4. So I think both these teams are highly motivated. I mean, the motivation better than everybody. Everyone thought that Dallas was going to beat Edmonton last year and didn't do it. And they feel like they have something to prove in these playoffs also. And obviously, as you mentioned out of the top, Jets, you want to win 16, you definitely got to get to 8 in order to get to 16. They've never been further than 9. Lots of motivation on both teams and a lot of unfinished business, much like the Oilers in that series with the Vegas Golden Knights.
Lastly, matchups. Rantanen, he was an absolute beast in the last 3 games, like 11 points. You kidding me? In like periods where he absolutely just toyed with the team. Is it Lowry? His line, and with Morrissey out, which D pair do you think is going to get? Is it? I'm assuming it's Pionk, but who do you think is going to be?
Yeah, bang on. Pionk and Sandberg, I got to think are going to go against Hintz and Rantanen. It looks like Granlund will stay there for now. Robertson could be back there before long. In terms of the forward lines, I do think it will be Lowry versus Hintz to start. Yes, that line Lowry will have to go up against Johnston at various points. And again, some of this may be related to Scheifele's health, right? I mean, often the Jets are comfortable going best on best, so you could see Scheifele versus Hintz as well. But given the fact that he was just out with injury, I think we're going to see Lowry and that big body. The Jets did reunite the identity line with Lowry, Niederreiter, and Appleton together. So I do think that they will take on the biggest responsibility in terms of that head-to-head matchup with Hintz and Rantanen. And yeah, I mean, it'll be another big game for Pionk and Sandberg there. And Hayden Fleury, who, is living in Edmonton these days. Great game 7. 33 minutes in what was just his second game of the playoffs, Jay. Came out of the bullpen and was fantastic. His mobility will be massive in this series. And, he and Luke Shen have played well together because you have that sort of banger on the one side and the speed on the other. He'll be with DeMello today, though. So scratch that for now. It'll be Miller with Luke Shen. But anyways, Hayden Fleury's ability to elevate his game. Now he's got to do it again against another high-end guy. And like you said, the Stars are just a little bit deeper and maybe further along their path than the Blues. So they're going to have to be on top of their game overall in order to have success here. And great goalie matchup, right? All we heard last round with Hellebuck struggling and Ottinger playing great well, maybe Ottinger's got the leg up. I mean, and you know who didn't like hearing that? The guy who had the starting job for Team USA at the Four Nations and would like to have it at the Olympics. So another great battle within the battle between the pipes here.
Well, that's the thing. There's lots of unique storylines here, and I hope that they get Morrissey back sooner than later. You know, even Logan Stanley potentially if they're going to use him because his size would probably help out for sure. So and if Heiskanen gets back in, man, this could be a slobber knocker of a series for sure. Kenny, enjoy it, man, from afar, man. It looks like Winnipeggers are at least having a lot of fun. So that's.
Yeah, you got that right. Not just in the building, but the folks outdoors seem to enjoy themselves after that Perfetti tying goal as well. It's been great in the city, and we know that last time Gary Bettman rolled into town, the attendance woes were a hot topic, and I'm guessing his tune will be a little different when he speaks behind us here in about 45 minutes.
Oh, all right. Well, look for the count. He usually tells you all the honest answers, though. That's what I love about him. Right? It's always great. Thanks, Kenny. Have a good day.
Great to be with you. Enjoy the rest of that other series as well, my man. Thanks for having me.
You betcha. That's Ken Wiebe joining us from Winnipeg. Great longtime reporter for the Jets. And so, man, that Hellebuck Ottinger, that is a juicy storyline, especially when you throw in who's going to be the starter? Right? Like, I like that, some of the media guys like to stir it up for it. It's great. Like, I don't think that the coach is like, well, this guy played better in May, so I'm going to be the starter next February. Right? I don't think Hellebuck hurt himself at Four Nations by any stretch. So we'll see. I do believe the mental aspect, and we've talked to Lorianne on Fridays for months now about just, the mental part of the game can be sometimes the toughest part of the game. And, for Hellebuck, just to get by, maybe exhale, and he gets back to being aggressive because, man, he looked hesitant. And hesitancy will kill you in a lot of positions, but man, it'll crush you as a goalie. Come back. We'll wrap things up. Jason Gregor, Connor Halley on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
If you bleed orange and blue and you're not using the all-new Play Alberta Sports and Casino app, then you're missing out. It's the only online sportsbook with odds boosts on all Oilers games. And now, it's not just sports. Play the slots, hit the tables, buy lottery tickets, all in one app, all across Alberta. Download Play Alberta now from your phone's app store and use promo code GOAL for a $100 bonus. That's promo code GOAL!
A pizza from Papa John's is already pretty great, but you know what's even better? 2 pizzas from Papa John's. For a limited time, get a medium 1-topping pizza for only $6 when you order any large specialty pizza at regular price. The works, the meats. Pick your favorite specialty pizza and get even more delicious Papa John's to enjoy. Whether you're feeding your family, your team, or yourself, get your next meal from your locally owned and operated Papa John's. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's.
My utility bills are going through the roof. How can I take advantage of the sun and put my lazy roof to work?
Sounds like a job for the men and women of Action Electrical.
Energy team reporting. When you're ready to make your home or business more efficient, Action Electrical has the power to install solar panel systems and EV chargers.
Facing an electrical menace? Call on the men and women of Action. Operating throughout Alberta with supercharged skills and strong family values. ActionElectrical.net.
Legacy Heating and Cooling jingle auditions take one for Ryan Nugent-Hopkins and Zach Hyman. Are you ready, guys?
We were born ready. Heck yes, Nuge. Drop the beat.
Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
We freaking killed it, Nuge. That's what I'm talking about, Zachary Martin Hyman.
Nice guys. We're going to sell a lot of air conditioners.
Hey, doesn't Legacy offer no payments and no interest for a year on those?
Yeah. Well, thanks for the assist on the copy points there, Nuge.
It's just what I do.
Legacy Heating and Cooling.
Silent Ice Sports and Entertainment is an innovative market leader across Western Canada with sports and entertainment properties, including the Spruce Grove Saints, the Junior Prospects Hockey League, Silent Rides Charter Company, the Hockey Super League, and the newly launched Female Super League. Silent Ice also owns the Western Hockey League's Seattle Thunderbirds and operates the Morinville AAA Arena. The Silent Ice Center, a new state-of-the-art entertainment facility, is open in Nisku, which features 2 sheets of ice, including a 1,600-seat arena and a restaurant with a viewing area.
Thursday, May 8th is McHappy Day, when every menu item purchased at McDonald's helps support families with sick children. So you can feel the good that comes from doing good, just from ordering.
So if I order a Big Mac, I'm helping.
Yup.
What about a McFlurry?
10-piece chicken McNuggets and apple pie?
You got it. Every single order helps. Join us at McDonald's for McHappy Day on Thursday, May 8th. Do good, feel good. A portion of food and beverage sales will support RMHC chapters and local children's charities across Canada.
Is it Riverside Motorsports?
No. It's Riverside Motorsports. Over 55 years in business, and people still get it wrong.
Guess it's time to get it right.
Riverside Motorsports. What you do for fun is our business.
O'Hanlon Paving is looking for finished skid steer operators, finished grader operators, Class 1 drivers, and more to join their Edmonton road crew team. Bring your positive attitude and great work ethic to their job fair, Friday, May 9th from 10 till 3. Visit o'hanlonpaving.com/careers.
Weeds, they're inevitable. Trust Green Drop with 100% guaranteed programs, including drought fighter and disease control at no extra cost. Book now and get 10% early bird savings.
Canada's lawn expert since 1979. Visit greendrop.com.
I'm Rick Showers from No Bull RV, and I love being Canadian. Despite what's happening south of the border, we've never been more united in our country, and that's a good thing. Know what else I love? The great outdoors in Canada.
We can wake up on the prairie and fall asleep under a Rocky Mountain sky.
That's right, Bob. Visitors will travel halfway around the world just to experience what we have in our own backyard. We're so lucky to live here, and that's why the good Lord created the RV, so you can spend more time in the great outdoors.
And the best RV is a used RV, right, Rick?
Every RV is a used RV, Bob. Unless it's still on the dealer's lot, it's used. All of the RVs at No Bull are used as well, which means they're already in Canada. Nobody can slap a tariff on a used RV. If it's here and it's used, that means it's Canadian. No surprises, no worries, just the best outdoor experience Canada has to offer.
And that's No Bull.
NoBullRV.ca.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Action Electrical. They're the most diversified electrical contractor in Alberta with 4 divisions in projects, service, tag, and solar for commercial or residential. Contact them today at actionelectrical.net.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
$550. Welcome back, Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Sports 1440, Oilers Nation, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. Hope you're having a lovely Wednesday. Tomorrow, we'll be back at OTR, getting set for Game 2, Vegas, and the Oilers. And then, man, Saturday night in Edmonton is going to be, imagine if they're up 2-0. Be wild in Edmonton. Wild on a Saturday night. Well, even if it's 1-1, it's going to be wild either way. Should be a lot of fun. Pace yourself, boys and girls. Always be smart. Okay, be smart. No drinking and driving. No inebriated and driving. Get home safe. Right? Everybody helps everybody else. You know, cabs, Ubers. You got a lot of options. Walk, whatever you need to do. Cons, I do want to ask quickly your thoughts. We got some text coming in, 833-401-1440. What did you make of the Pickens trade to the Dallas Cowboys from the Steelers?
I actually really like it for the Dallas Cowboys. I mean, Pickens, we know he's got the talent, but playing in Pittsburgh the last few years, he just hasn't really had that quarterback play. Like Kenny Pickett was there, Russell Wilson not in his prime. You saw Justin Fields. I think, Dak Prescott, sure, he's got a lot of detractors, but he can throw the football around the field. And I think, you compliment him with CeeDee Lamb. CeeDee Lamb's going to get a lot of double teams, and that's going to open up Pickens. And he's a guy who can really stretch the field, make some ridiculous catches. I don't think he was ever really a wide receiver one. I don't think he has that upside, but CeeDee Lamb is. So you send him there, you pair him up with those two, and he'll probably see a lot of single coverage and the stretch to make some plays down the field. For the Cowboys, I really like it. For the Steelers, I don't know. I mean, you brought in DK Metcalf, you got Calvin Austin. I guess Roman Wilson coming back from injury, a guy they drafted last year out of Michigan. I don't necessarily I get it on the field, but he is a bit of a distraction. There's no doubt about it. George Pickens can be a little off the wall, whether it's fighting DBs or whatever it might be. You get him out of the room. Maybe it's addition by subtraction, but on the field, I think it's a great ad for the Cowboys.
Well, it's interesting. His agent's the same agent as Micah Parsons, who, Jones is like, I'm not sure who his agent is. So Like they're getting a guy who's 1 year away from and we know how the Cowboys are. They never seem to want to be proactive with their contracts and get it done before. I wonder why that is.
I don't know. I'm just curious if maybe perhaps they like the drama or what it might be. Maybe, a way for the big man to stay in the spotlight and ensure he keeps on getting radio hits and TV requests.
So you're saying it's on purpose?
Maybe. I mean, it would really benefit them to sign these guys quicker. I'll just say that.
A method to his madness is what you're suggesting. Okay. All right. I get it. I like it. On behalf of Connor Halley, Declan Kruger, if you missed any part of the show, you can and I think the Oil Kings already a draft pick tonight, Cons. I think the WHL draft's going on here, so we'll get that in. Who did they pick?
The Oil Kings selected Holden Wouters out of St. George's U15 prep.
Okay, so Schultz, and did Liam Pugh go to then? He must have went to the Pats as well. It's a pretty big ad for them. Good for them. Sports 1440 update brought to you by EWEL, your partner in power for 75 years. For all your electrical gear, think EWEL.ca. Have a great night. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Game 2.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
After 20 minutes out in Toronto, Leafs Panthers tied at 1 apiece. Toronto obviously leads that series 1-0. Later tonight, you got the Stars and Jets meeting in Winnipeg, game 1 of their best of 7 series in the association. Right now, Celtics on top of the Knicks, 43-30. 3 minutes left in the second quarter. New York leads that series 1-0. At 7:30 tonight, you got the Nuggets taking on the Thunder. They can take a 2-0 series lead there. Major League Baseball, the Blue Jays in action up against the Angels. First pitch set for 7:38. Game's going on right now. The Bo Sox trail the Rangers 2-0 in the fourth. And in the third, Phillies up on the Rays 1-0. Earlier today, Guardians got past the Nationals 8-6. Astros over the Brewers 9-1. And the Cubbies falling at home to the Giants 3-1. PWHL, Toronto leads Minnesota 1-0 after 1. And in the WHL, the first overall pick, the Regina Pats selected Maddox Schultz, as we just mentioned. The Oil Kings selecting defenseman Holden Wouters out of St. George U15 prep. And some news from the CFL today. Winnipeg Blue Bombers quarterback Zach Claros suspended 1 regular season game for failing to respond to a request for a drug test from the Canadian Centre for Ethics in Sport. That's going to do it for us here on the Jason Gregor Show. Coming up next, we've got Fox Sports Radio. Live local coverage resumes tomorrow morning, 7 a.m. with Kevin Carius. I'm Connor Halley. This is